Good evening, everyone, and welcome. We are Random Encounter Productions. I'm Cody Stone. With me tonight, we have...
Andrew Valdez. Hello.
Hey, welcome back. Also returning...
Erica Folk. Erica with a K.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Caitlin.
Hi, I'm Caitlin. We're the regulars.
Yeah.
We need no introduction, apparently.
Nope.
So we are... Tonight is our sci-fi night.
We have some announcements.
We have some announcements.
Yeah.
Let's go over there.
First of all, if you are watching us tonight, we have a new marketing and merchandise... not marketing. We have a new merchandise and fulfillment manager. Everyone say hello to Space Casey in the chat.
Hi, Space Casey.
And the irony of her being...
Named Space Casey?
Yeah, when she's not doing the space. But she has done this amazing thing where she gave all of you a special promo code to our store. It is only available in the stream tonight. You can use it through Friday, but only people who are live in chat get that. So we're going to be dropping that promo code in just a minute here. We put up a bunch of new merch in the store. Also, there she is. Hey, if you want to drop that promo code, girl, that's on you. And then shop links and stuff. Go nuts. If she is posting links, she absolutely has our permission to do the shop things. Everyone, please start singing some shopkeep songs to yourself, a la Zelda, and as she delivers this information to you while I continue talking, because I can't do that many things at once, and I trust her. So that's fun. New merch, new things. We also have a promo code coming to our patrons in the next couple of days. So if you want extra off, make sure you join us on Patreon for even $1 for some codes and stuff. That's always exciting.
Also, our backstage cam is up and running backstage. Not right now,
Not right now, but it was.
But it was.
Today.
We've been doing the backstage.
Yeah, we
cam.
have been. Yeah.
We get to hear all of the lovely things we talk about.
Yeah.
So weird.
So weird. And you have a giveaway you're holding in your hand.
I
Put it down.
I do.
There we go. Hit it.
do.
Don't ever
I
put it
have
down.
No. It's this. It's from Haunted Mountain. It
That's so
is
pretty.
a tea infuser. It has
I want
company colors
Woo!
and D20, and it's all very shiny and awesome. Good
Ooh.
times. Yes. So when we have 50 concurrent viewers, we will be doing that giveaway. So if you want to get the tea infuser from Haunted Mountain, talk to your friends. Definitely, I think our February launch week is going to be a great week to try to hit that number.
So many giveaways. So much stuff.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a ton of giveaways that first week in February as we get all of our major shows underway. And we're really excited about it. And thank you guys for hanging out with us, doing some world building with us, offering your creative input, and giving us a chance to welcome back a bunch of old friends. Like, I'm really excited to have you guys here. Yeah, this is awesome.
Friend. Why is
That's what I have. Also, some of our Kickstarter fulfillments have started to go out. If you guys are of a certain level backer that gets add-ons like the lanyards,
the
and
lanyards,
the patches,
the stickers,
those things haven't come in yet. So if you want all of your stuff all at once, let us know. Otherwise, we're probably sending out pins.
Nope, other way around.
Other way around.
We are assuming that you want to wait to have them all together. If you want to get your pins now and you're just eager to have the pins and you're willing to wait on the other stuff to ship in a second wave, let us know.
Okay, there you go.
Otherwise, we're going to spend twice as much on shipping than we need to. If people were willing to, yeah.
Yep, we don't want to do that.
Yeah. But yeah, some people get it shipped out last night and got there this morning.
Yeah?
So, no, it shipped out this morning and got there this morning.
Yeah. Double morning.
Very impressive. But if you have gotten your pins, tag us on the socials. Show us their new home.
Yeah.
unbagging videos would be cool.
Yes, please.
So, good times for all of that. Any other big things? Do you guys have shows or anything you want to plug? Any shout-outs you guys want to do?
Her dress glows in the dark and has pockets.
Yeah, it's got the constellations on it. They're not accurate to the sky, mostly. Actually, I don't know.
They might be here in this world. We've decided. That's
yes,
a lot of
This
zippers.
is what our sky looks like.
I mean, actually, there's Cassiopeia. There's
a couple of recognizable ones.
Some of them are real. Some they
Some
just
of them
made
look
up.
a little.
Yeah.
There's some that looks like a triangle.
Some people just got excited and they were like, "These look like a constellation."
Look, actually, in this space.
Yeah.
I just finished my year-long campaign at the game stores.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah, this is their last game, so
Oh man.
they're about to all die.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
That's
they,
really
they
cool.
poke 3 gods at once, so they're just gonna have.
Oh, so they are just actually gonna die.
Well,
Okay, well
Yeah,
that's on
yeah,
them.
yeah.
That was their fault.
Don't poke the gods.
Don't poke several gods at once.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
one
They
god
want
max.
to be poked.
One at a time.
That's true.
If they want to be
Just
poked,
consent.
okay.
Or at
Consent is
least,
important.
You know,
Yeah, that
upset
too.
one and then take care of that one. Then go upset the other one.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
yeah.
Order
Yeah.
matters.
One
Order
of them.
does matter
It does.
Mhm.
in many things in life.
Mhm.
Yes.
Izzy, why you got it out for me today? What did I do to you? I'm always so fucking nice to you, you asshole.
What's going on? What does he do?
Nothing.
I don't. Yeah, he wasn't talking about your shirt.
No, earlier he was like, "Who's Kaylin?" And then I said something about mine, and he said, "I will fight you." So I was just
no, absolutely not.
Good.
He's
Amazing.
fighting people over her lovely dress.
just making
Oh.
good. Excellent.
because it's beautiful.
Excellent. It's a
Oh,
dress.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's fine. He would not know the difference.
No, I know.
Also, he was being sarcastic by saying, "Who is this Caitlin? Caitlin, you speak
No,
out."
I know. I'm
Okay.
aware he was. I
And
know.
then I had to correct him
I saw him 2 days ago.
because
Like,
he misspelled my name.
yeah, rude.
really rude.
Wow.
But it is okay.
We're having a time.
We are having a time, but you know what?
It is a good time.
It is a good time, and it's a good night to have a good time. So let's dig in. We're going to try to catch up our people that could not be here last week. So we have been building a new galaxy. We started with a race known as the Nixophasier, who made it their business to travel around the galaxy.
Yes.
We're going into the time-space continuum.
When you put one mirror and you look through them and there's an infinite chain of mirrors. Sorry.
Or The Last Jedi.
My bad. That too.
That too. So they made it their business to go around the galaxy, finding potential sentient races and helping them develop culture and raising them up. Once those races had developed faster than light travel or near the speed of light travel, we decided that the Nixophasier also built a network of wormholes, and traveling beyond the speed of light into a wormhole can collapse it and anti-Big Bang or re-Big Bang, or we don't know. Bad things happen on a
A
very
big
big
smush.
scale. Big smush.
Don't like
So
Big bada boom is the proper sci-fi term.
that is the appropriate
Know
cipher.
this.
Yeah, you're right.
We forgot.
Why did I not just take advantage of this to make Lilu?
Well, we're not done yet.
Multitask. Today is the day we make them.
Everything.
There it is.
Yeah.
I'm no longer
Yeah.
a deer.
The multipass is right behind
Why
You could be
can't
the-
Lilo Dallas be a deer?
Right, I was saying you could be a deer.
you.
You dear
And now, every time you
Oh,
go
God,
multipass,
You did it.
everyone can say, "Oh dear."
Multiclass.
Oh.
I totally forgot it. That is a thing that
No.
one can do.
Oh. Okay.
You did this to yourself.
Did we?
You did it.
So that is about the time that Nixophasier usually come to races and are like, hey, let's introduce you to the rest of the galaxy that we have helped create,
Neighbors.
that we have helped to build, that we have made this galactic community with. The first race that they raise up, the first of the KP's children, are the Valinol. They have since evolved beyond the need for like natural skin colors. They're pinks and they are what everybody
Everyone wants
thinks
tieflings to be.
tieflings are, which is not red and brown.
The art in the book is red.
I know.
I will fight
No,
you.
No, it's in the book. It says
Oh.
red and brown,
Okay.
and everybody's like,
Oh, okay.
"I'm purple. I'm
That
blue."
is accurate. No, you once
I'm
were
a
like,
black tiefling of death.
he once said something about them being mostly human colors, and I was like, no, here's the book, and I for once got it right. I was like, what?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, brown and red are kind of human
They're,
colors.
I mean, like, yeah, that dark of red, I feel like.
Well, right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's
We're
more
getting into
those
some-
Sure.
tones.
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
opposed
No, that's
to,
the
like,
blue tones.
A blue tone.
Although, have you ever seen those
green
guys?
tone.
There's like 6 people in the world who have that weird allergy where their skin turns blue. Like, it's a legitimate thing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't
It's like
seen
blue and
that.
silver. It's uncomfortable. So it is a natural human skin
Wow.
tone. It's just not healthy.
Endorians?
Like, keep going. I'm gonna find it.
So,
We have real Endorians in our world?
so the Valinol are
Nigeria.
the first of the KP's children. They were elevated a very long time ago. They have no upper age limit. They are sensationalists. They spend their lifespan attempting to stimulate themselves in art, in fashion, in experiences, through meditation. And because they can live naturally to no known limit, they do experience that phenomenon that if you're as old as I am, or older people will tell you, time moves faster the older you get.
Yes, it does. As an old person.
Yeah. So
Everyone at this table, very old.
Very
yeah,
much.
super ancient,
So,
all of us.
Yep.
But for the Valinol, that is something they attempt to stave off by engaging themselves. Once they become so jaded that they can't interact with the world or bring themselves to care about things, they fade off. They sail to the west, as elves would put it.
Yay!
This is also. I hope you all enjoy this ASMR moment with me. The sound of ice clinking in the
Is that not just how a certain race communicates in
fun?
sci-fi?
Yeah. Did you enjoy this ice cube? It makes me so uncomfortable. I'm so sorry for all of you who don't like ASMR.
It's just weird,
So,
but it is okay.
That's okay. And
So
those
then-
of you who do.
Andrew's just like, what did I do? I came back to this on purpose.
you chose this.
You did.
You decided to be here.
You know, did I?
I mean,
To
You
some,
asked.
This is a predetermined fate.
So the Valinol are also natural espers. Esper energy is the psychic control of cosmic forces,
Right.
otherwise known as
Right.
space magic or
Okay.
biotics, if
Oh,
you
right.
want. Right?
I'm going to
They-
keep merging
I
words.
forgot about that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Esper is biotics,
yes.
and thorium causes Esper.
No.
No. Okay.
No. We'll have to get into what thorium is
Okay.
in a moment.
Because we were talking last week that there are some races
Yes.
that are
There are two naturally
Esper.
Esper races, the Valinol and the Lexipicus.
Hi.
So you keep saying Are you saying
Valinol.
it sounds like you're putting an L.
Vonanol. Vonanol?
Valinol.
Vol on.
Okay, so there's an L. Okay, there's a typo in the document.
Valinol.
I was under the
It's-
impression it was Vaanol.
Are these?
It should be Valinol.
Like, are these?
Va.
What did they look like?
Multicolored space elves. Let's just keep it simple.
I want to
Okay,
be lavender.
I
Yeah.
figured they were. I just didn't want to be like.
So
these
they-
look like
Think-
elf stats.
Think Aragog.
They do.
They are.
Yeah, they
They are
are. They
absolutely
are.
yes.
They do. I
We
mean,
need some familiarity. We're jumping into a whole new everything.
Oh yeah. No. I just
Some
didn't,
5e
I didn't want to
staple.
be like this is definitely an elf and be
Yeah.
like space elves.
I mean,
so
They
the Valinol chosen of all. Their subraces are the Trininol, which are the telepaths of the race, the Xanthanol, which are the more physical versions of the race, and the Luninol, which are the entertainers and pretty ones of their race. So they are natural espers. Not their entire race. You'll do notice that there is a subrace there, and I am going to. There's a subrace that does not have Esper powers. I think I'm going to keep that, although I might give them the bonus talent points, but not give them any free talents.
Yeah.
It's a question we're lingering on. So our Rostocks are up next, the second elevated. They are stocky. They are big, up between 6 and 7 feet. Their skin is thick grays, reds, very rust and industrial sort of colors. They believe that everybody has a purpose in society. Even if you decide that you don't have a purpose, your purpose is giving someone else a purpose.
Didn't you say it was basically if you decided you just wanted to be a lazy bum and not contribute, then you've given someone else the job of taking care of you. So that is your purpose, is giving them the job of being a caretaker.
They find purpose
What a gig.
in their
Can I be that?
in their punk
As a real
rock.
person?
Yeah, in their like even like youth revolt serves the purpose of pushing society forward. So they take a very long view of things, even though they're one of the shorter lived races.
But masters of the big picture.
Yes,
This is the Kuhn.
yes, very much masters of the big picture. So powerful build, stronger than count as a size stronger. Advantage against fear, gain a tool proficiency of their choice, +2 on the basic strength. Then the stocky ones get a +1 con, and basically that half orc ability to not fall down when they drop to 0 the first time.
Which I love.
And then bloody focus, which is when they're below their half their maximum hit points, they gain access to a reckless attack. Essentially, we can. It all has its own terms, but we can also speak in words that we all know.
Mm-hmm.
The Uhu are our amphibian brothers. I know that Eduardo, who was here last week, he's not feeling good this week. He is planning on playing an Uhu. They're
Woo! We're gonna do it the whole campaign. Get prepped for a year.
What are you doing?
Woo!
All right.
Whistler's gonna kill them very quickly. Just in character.
Stealth. Woo!
Oh,
Damn
my
it.
character's
Break.
doing it.
For people in the chat asking about spelling, we're going to be releasing these. We're going to be releasing these things first to our patrons.
Yes.
As like we give our patrons the DM's Guild stuff like for free. As perks. We're still figuring out what levels that's going to be. But then they will be going up in DM's Guild when we have all the art in place and everything like that. So that'll be fun. You'll get to look at it.
One of my players is saying the U's like you.
So this is just UHU.
Yep.
Uhu.
I spelled it. I got it.
But we do have some
They
team.
could drink Yoo-hoos.
They could the Uhu Uhu.
That survived through all the apocalypses.
But those must be well shaken before use.
Yeah.
So must the frogs.
Are
right?
there Yoo-hoos
Are
also
Yoo-hoos
being
well shaken
before
you?
Sponsor?
We already have a sponsor. North Foundry.
Just get it
That's
out of
right.
the system now before we get into the game. You know, just
Please.
Right.
Please.
You say that like it's not just going to exponentially get worse.
It will. We all.
Well, we'll get better jokes.
Yeah!
Run out of the really cheesy ones, and then they're just gonna get better.
So it's just going to be really, really great by the time we actually go live with this. We're
Right.
going to be like upper echelon humor.
There absolutely are Twinkies in this world.
Ooh, yeah!
Absolutely.
Where else would the cockroaches live? Right.
Oh.
Wally.
So, big thing for them is symbiotic technology.
I
One
love
of the
that.
things that we've talked about is that because of their underwater nature, even though they had access to some above land things, definitely they developed like metallurgy and stuff like that later on. But through the early part of their evolution, they became master biologists that would evolve other life forms to essentially serve a purpose for them. So, that's all I'm going to say about that. They have Uhu of the Deep, Uhu of the Land, some resistances, and some different travel types. The Shazors, I'm not 100% on their subraces yet. They have fun names, but I don't have more powers for them, to be honest with you. But they are plant people. They are the Uhu and the Shazor were elevated out of the same solar system, maybe?
Yeah, we talked about them
Yeah.
popping.
Yeah.
Because if they were in the same cluster, it would be too far for them to symbiotically.
Right. So in different planets, but the same solar system. And when they had developed space-borne technology, they were essentially going to war with each other. And the KP steps in and separates them, elevates both of them.
You in this corner, you in this corner.
Yeah.
Play
Here's a
nice.
toy.
Exactly. Now, the Shazor are master terraformers. They all trace their lineage back to one singular tree.
Plants.
One-
Plant people.
Yep, they are plant people. They are born. They are potted, flowered, blossomed. They blossom fully formed as adults, essentially. So they are very, very different. And a single or just a few Shazor can, over time, terraform an entire planet. So that is sort of their big identity. I believe Megan was looking at playing a Shazor botanist, but for her people,
she would be Dr.
she would
Oz,
be a
basically.
doctor.
Yeah. Brilliant. I love it. Well, because she would be a doctor for them.
Sure.
Zode, we talked about being mineral-based, either silica. I'm thinking of them as like a mix of flesh, but based on a different element. So silicone or anything off of the mineral table, essentially. I have not given them sub-races. I've given them a little more flexibility in their choices. So they get +2 to con, 1 +1 to an ability score of their choice. One of the things that is uniform among them is they do develop sort of these crystalline outgrowths out of their skin. And that gives them they can sense vibrations, either on a cosmic level or through sun and sound waves. Basically, it gives them another sense, a sense of intuition. So when things are about to go catastrophic, they can make last-minute adjustments. That gives them the ability to reroll natural ones. We talked about them having a molten core as sort of their lifeblood. That makes them resistant to fire. Because they are mineral-based, they do have +1 to their AC. And specific to Espergenesis, there are a weapon property called high velocity. High velocity weapons deal additional damage to enemies that aren't armored. So, but for those purposes, the Zode are always armored. So they never take that extra damage from high velocity weapons. Kind of balance them out, we give them a slower move speed, so 25. And they do get proficiency in one of their choice. Lexipicus are our space deer people.
Hi.
They are kind of trickster people. I think we should go with more illusion-based talents.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like, the only reason I didn't pick like the
I think
altar
tricky
self is because they already have the camouflage with it doesn't make sense to also have camouflage if they evolve the light thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to drown that in other illusion things necessarily. For disguise, at least.
Sure.
Different illusions, great, but not for disguise-based purposes.
Okay. So we're going to give them some other... They're the other natural espers. They, too, don't have sub-races right now. They just have some additional choices. So +2 intelligence, +1 to another ability, proficiency in deception, and a tool of their choice. Or, you know what? I'm going to make that a skill and a tool of their choice. For more versatility.
Thank you. Because I don't think we don't have sub-races because we evolved kind of wild. We basically have the same things, just different looks.
Yeah.
Megan's going Shazor, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's three of us who are deer. It is me, Miss Audi. She's playing my little sister. She's going to play our support bard scholar. And another deer, Lexipicus, and so is Justin. So it's Caitlin, Justin, and Audi. The deer. We are from a herd.
Lexipicus seems like it's missing
It is. I just don't know what. It'll come to us.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Or we can ask the chat. Also, chat.
If you have
ideas, campaign name ideas, start throwing them into the chat, and we will see what sticks. Who knows? Maybe yours will get picked, and we'll send you a prize.
Yep.
Winning name gets
and black holes.
winning name gets a prize. I don't know what it is yet, but you will get something cool.
Yeah. So that's our races. We're pulling the Espergenesis races for human, just straight out of the book. The one we are not doing is the Utopian. Because
Busted?
No, not busted at all. If you
The
want to,
utopian's a subclass of humanity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
if you want to take the utopian stats, I don't mind. But story wise, the idea of there being like rich people on the halo around Earth, and then everybody else just eating dirt
SOL.
down on the Mad Max planet.
And a lot of the
So we're only taking humans from this, or we can take any race.
in terms of
humans.
race.
Humans are the only race from
Everything else we made.
Espergenesis.
I was about to say this catch boy looking real good.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some cool things in there, but yes.
If there is something that you're looking at a race and you're like,
I want to play ours. I don't want to play theirs.
okay,
I was just making sure that wasn't a thing.
correct.
You're like double checking.
Yeah.
You
So
can't sit with us. You're from a book.
Oh no!
the one thing we didn't talk about last week that I do want to go over real quick is pulling from the Neurospasta from Deus Ex Machina. They have a Virtuant race, and it is essentially a digital identity that has achieved consciousness and can download itself into different mechanical bodies.
Cool.
So my thought on this is, and I wanted to go with that specifically because we're dealing with multiple space age races.
Mhm.
I don't think we have something that is, I'm going to speak in Mass Effect terms
Mhm.
for a minute.
Mhm.
I don't think we have like a Geth,
Okay.
really. I think true consciousness is something that hasn't been able to be replicated, but spontaneously does occur.
Okay.
And I think it happens to different races because they've all developed computer technology, even the Uhu and their thinking fishes
So
or
we're
their
looking at like a Borg.
Mentax.
A
Not-
Borg without the master brain.
So not quite. I like to think of it more like Ghost in the Shell,
Oh,
a standalone complex,
okay.
where we don't quite know how or why this group of thoughts or whatever has formed into an identity. We
So it's
probably
more legion amongst the Geth. So as in
yes,
Okay.
yeah, it would be legion amongst the Geth, not
the
the
Geth
Geth
consensus.
themselves.
Gotcha.
They are more independent identities, and I think that we get them from all different races. I think artificial intelligence, because it does talk about in the Neurospasa book, as you pointed out, like AI is a derogatory term to
Mhm.
them, like because you can't really make it.
You can't say it unless you are one.
You can't really.
And then
But the intelligence isn't artificial because it naturally evolved. Bless you. Essentially.
Correct. Yeah, so you can't program
Right.
consciousness into something.
It just has to happen.
It is a spontaneous occurrence because they get some cool things. So they get to pick like different body chassis. So they can have like wheels, which will give them more speed, but difficult terrain on stairs. You know,
So this is like a Warforged, but like a more space version.
it is. Yeah, it's like a space. So we do have like space androids,
Mhm.
right? I'm imagining that there are plenty of, looking through the Espergenesis book and its bad guys, robots and like androids fulfill a lot of the undead fantasy version,
Oh, okay.
where like they're a little clumsy and they can kind of follow orders and some of them can think on their own and do stuff, but they all sort of have some natural vulnerabilities and holdbacks. A Virtuant doesn't. Nice thing about a Virtuant is, one, it can back itself up. So you can, if its body gets destroyed, it just has to have a new body.
Yeah.
While expensive, not impossible. I don't want to get into a lot of cyberspace stuff just because we've done the Shadowrun thing and that's a pain. Yeah.
So no physical augmentations for people.
That's something we can explore later on.
Okay.
Not at launch.
That's very cyberpunky.
It is very cyberpunky, but I feel like
That would
Again,
be like-
having just watched Jupiter Ascending.
that would be like items. though,
splicing
in the
and
game.
stuff.
Instead of using a magic item,
Yeah.
like, say you get
You
an
can-
augmented glove that like mechanically changes your hand.
So the Neurospasa book does have rules for cyber limbs for different races. I think looking at the technological powers, the forging techniques, and the Esper talents, we can't, like, regeneration is on there.
Okay.
So it's very expensive. The people that have mechanical limbs and things probably did it because they could not afford regen.
Yeah.
But I think it's an important part of sci-fi. I don't want to ignore it. I'm just going to discourage it at launch.
But like,
So-
if one of us loses an arm on the pain chart later,
Great.
we'll
Yes.
Give
we'll
me a
talk about it
vorpal
then.
blade And we'll test it later on.
Yeah.
in the game.
I like my antlers and my arms and my everything.
Exactly. So yeah. Same thing with spaceships. Like, they have some decent spaceship rules in Esper Genesis. We're gonna get there eventually, but we're gonna.
I still think the Star Trek RPG ones are better.
I don't.
Yeah,
I
so we'll
don't
take a look at
necessarily
that.
disagree.
Yeah,
I
let's
do
look at the stuff.
do want to look at it. Just
Because it's actually simple.
Yeah.
So that gets us through our races.
Someone suggested Wizards of the Stars instead of Wizards of the Coast, and I like that more than I should.
Yeah, but no.
I know, but I'm like,
Yes, but no.
yes, but no.
Wizards of Outerly Space.
That's what, at first, that's what I thought was
Fuck.
going to be suggested,
Fuck.
and I was like,
Ugh.
And we're right next to Disney, y'all. Here comes my
Only
lawsuit.
appropriate if we get Selena Gomez to come play with us.
I'm just gonna be sitting here in the middle of this, and we're gonna. And I'm like, well, it's time to go to jail. Bye, guys.
Mickey Mouse will come for you.
Oh, I'm here.
Like on South Park.
Here we go. And I'll just be like, you know where I live, boss? Taken, but hi. Welcome to my home.
They have a tracker on me. It's a serious problem. Just kidding. Like, we noticed you're nearby. Would you like to come in for work?
No. Oh my god.
That's
Could you
true.
imagine? That'd be terrible.
I mean,
Um,
it happens.
Okay.
"Do you like
So
Do
back.
you want
Yeah.
at this moment to answer my questions about humanity, or would you like to do that later?
let's do it now.
Okay.
Let's do it now. That way we can. If you guys have any other questions about the races, I know you guys missed some of the like development chats.
And by that, I mean the timeline, because that's what I've been working on.
Great.
Nice.
So I do.
Yeah,
let's talk timeline.
Okay.
And also, if there are any other questions race wise, let's get those out of the way. Because once we get past that, here's what I'm looking at tonight. I want to get past that. I want to start building characters so that we can talk about who wants to be what and classes.
I
And
rolled something a long time ago, but I don't remember it. I'd kind of rather
it's
roll
fine.
live.
Yeah, that's
from
fine.
people who
Yeah.
are here.
Start building characters. And the last thing was, so the last thing we have to do is State of the Galaxy when we're starting.
Yes.
But let's save that towards the end.
Sure.
Let's get through some crunchy stuff, and then we'll do that. So let's start with humanity. What do you got?
So my questions are many. And
Okay.
yes, because I have lots of things.
Give them to me in chewable
So-
sizes.
Yes. So the biggest thing is we established that the KP make themselves known to humanity in 2020. 2220. It is 2020 today. This year.
Okay.
Choo-choo train.
What are you doing?
Here comes the choo-choo
I was
train.
literally staring ahead, not looking at his own hand, just staring at the screen, but doing this. Like he was casting a
Oh,
weird spell on
That was
us.
for you.
That's weird.
Keep going.
Is that the first time humanity has gone extrasolar?
So I'm gonna say, let me get this question out, and let me get your opinions. Is it FTL or faster than FTL? That's when the KP steps in. I think it has to be faster than FTL
Okay. We had
because
written down FTL, but I can make it faster than FTL. That's fine.
so in my opinion, humanity probably establishes something that is FTL or near
Sure.
FTL, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're really talking about.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, now we can go fast. Let's send an expedition to the next nearest star, Alpha Centauri.
Yeah, I was like,
is
why
that
did I
it?
just blank on me?
Yeah.
Yes, it's Alpha Centauri.
Which will still take them how long
A long time.
at the speed of light?
Yeah. way too long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that they do. That expedition is probably sent.
Okay.
Probably in some sort of hibernation.
Yeah.
Right. People
Cryogenic
that
sleep, yeah.
cryogenic sleep, all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That gets sent. And before that can arrive in the time period, right? They develop the ability to go faster than FTL. That's when you start getting into subspace. That's when you can run into a wormhole and crash and break something.
Okay.
So that is when the KP are like,
Hey,
crossing guard,
don't do that.
stop.
Halt.
Yes.
Is that in 2220 then, when the faster than FDL and the KP say stop?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there such a thing as the Mars ruins?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I don't. So there can be a previous race that was on Mars.
Okay.
It is not going to be a KP specific.
Okay.
They would have had no need
Sure.
to leave behind ruins or something to warn people of or for.
Sure.
Right.
Right.
They visited the species directly.
Right.
So we probably have. I like the idea of them. So we talked about them being in space suits that portray them as deities
Right.
to people, and that's where we can pull some of our ancient myths
Like
from.
Zeus and
Right.
Hera and all that
Those
stuff,
sort of things. You okay?
Yes.
What?
She just said Planet Unicorn, man.
No, it was I demand a shifty space cow.
Oh.
Oh.
Yes, ancients.
Yes.
Yes.
I was not prepared.
Yes, the man, the space ship cow.
I scrolled up from Planet Unicorn to Shifty Space Cow, and it had just been from deer. The name suggestions, half of them were genuine, and then it was dragons and dragons, dungeons and dungeons, space deer and more space deer. That's where I started to lose it, and then it kept getting better.
Oh, good.
So
Disasters and
I like galactic mishap. Like this. Listen, I like galactic mishaps as a concept. But the reason he called us disastrous and dangerous, he'd already played 5e with us long enough to know that we're disaster people who are often in danger. I feel like cursing this sci-fi game from the beginning is a bad idea.
That's why I said galactic mishaps. That's the second name.
No.
Yeah,
Just a series of galactic unfortunate
Thank you.
events.
A series of unfortunate black holes.
Yeah, there you go. Series of natural.
Wait, what are they
events.
called? Oh, events are called something. Event horizons.
Galactic goofs.
Oh.
No.
The question isn't
Maybe
necessarily
some
Mars
goofs.
ruins being the KPs, but is there such a, because the Mars ruins prompted the understanding of Mass Effect. So would there be something that would create that explosion of technology?
We can call it a Sorium reserve.
Okay.
So they start experimenting with Sorium.
Okay.
And
Because there is no Sorium on Earth.
correct.
Right.
Yeah. Sorium does not naturally occur on Earth.
Right. But it may be on Mars. And they
And I'm fine with that.
Cool.
Or even if it's not Mars, I would actually say probably one of the moons of Jupiter.
Okay. I can do that.
Yeah, because it's a little further away. We had to work a little harder to get there. But I think the same way that we hit an explosion of technology with like the microchip, right? This is sort of the next step. And as far as I understand what Sorium is, we can answer that now.
Yeah.
It is, so it's an element that is basically, it is naturally occurring, it replenishes itself, it is programmable. So it is like, and it interacts with.
T. Graves turned on us. I was like, don't curse us. We could be different. And she goes, but you as players are not different. You're grounded. Okay?
I think we're going to have to make a space cow where everyone in this chat's just going to be so disappointed.
Minotaur!
You know what? Just give me Minotaur or Tauren. It's all right.
The space cow dating sim. I'm cool with that.
I will.
What is wrong with you people?
I'm gonna go.
I mean,
I'm gonna
there's
go
that pigeon
Minotaur infiltrator, and it's gonna work out real well.
Yep.
They still do
The
not know.
stealthiest cow in the place.
Your options are the Bard space deer or the giant frogman for this dating sim.
Quit!
So,
In fact.
And then there's that one human Oh my gosh, this is Hatoful Boyfriend.
Okay, good. We just got weird. Why don't we have the alien races in every good sci-fi? There's a tentacled alien race. We're just waiting for it to happen.
The Enkindlers see fit to grace us with their knowledge.
Anyway,
This is gonna sound really like funny to the scenario, but I actually have like in the new campaign that they're playing, they actually have space cowboys.
Of course.
I mean, because I think that
it's a Minotaur, but it's a Wookiee version of a Minotaur.
Oh no,
that you can play as.
it's
that sounds
fluffy.
fun.
Do they?
Nice.
Do they?
So they're
steal things?
basically like bison. They look more
Nice.
like a bison.
Oh, like in BoJack.
Yeah.
Nice.
Solid.
So,
So to
I'm
get
just
back
laughing at this because my players
Sorium.
are telling me. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I just want to understand. So Sorium, so element replenishes itself is programmable. What would be, I guess, the closest? I guess it does then have several uses. I'm just trying to think of what the closest what's the closest similar thing it would be to? Like, how would you?
It
Describe
essentially
it.
lets us to make the micro, what was it?
Oh, the nanobots.
Nanobots.
Oh, interesting.
Like liquid. Think of it like the Iron Man, the last Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
Where he's kind of just making shit up as he went.
Yeah.
And it's like this weird liquid metal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's Sorium.
We also sort
Okay.
of had candidate as Big Hero 6, those little nanobots.
Yeah, when you said nanobots, that was where my mind went actually initially.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is Sorium. Esper powers don't rely on Sorium.
Mhm.
That's the big difference
We
between
just are.
Ezo and
Okay, so
Sorium.
there's no Sorium in planets necessarily.
Correct.
Okay, interesting.
So, and there's actually, so Esper Genesis, what it is, the reason this system is named this. So Sorium star drives. With the discovery of the crucibles, that's where the Sorium comes from. It's also ancient space ruins.
Okay,
That's what that is.
okay, so there can be ancient space ruins
Yes, there can be.
on
Yeah.
Euripides or something.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they adapted to existing technology with space travel, resulting in a prototype. What is known today as a Sorium star drive. And it keeps going.
So the
That's-
idea that, so the reason why, sorry, to clarify.
Please,
'cause
please.
I also haven't,
Please
I haven't
clarify.
read all of like the
Yeah.
manual, so I feel like that's probably where like my knowledge is kind of failing me. So essentially, because Sorium is self-replenishing, it is
Mhm.
able to be circulated throughout the universe, the different universes, well, our universe, the different systems,
Mhm.
because it's kind of self-replenishing and it originates from these ruins. Is it something that
It's naturally
came-
occurring.
Oh, okay, so I guess it can come from a lot of different places. Then
Yeah,
But-
it would just be extremely rare.
Mhm.
So
something that could be harvested is the idea.
mined, more likely. Yeah, harvested or mined.
Mhm. Okay.
Absolutely. So here's the big thing. If you guys go to page 205 in the book, it talks about different power types, right? So talents and channeling. I'm just going to read straight from the book and we're going to figure out what this means for us. Okay. Talents are powers designed through a direct manipulation of energy, often harnessed by or directed through the Esper's own body, using a skill known as channeling, the ability to mold and shape energy in this way without the needed assistance or materials makes the use of talents both extremely versatile and powerful. However, channeling more potent energies can also put a stress on the body. Melders are the first and primary example of channeling talents. Adepts and cybermancers have refined talent use into their own style and method. Blah, blah, blah. So techniques require Sorium because Sorium is basically their rig.
Correct.
Their rig contains Sorium and nanobots that lets them do these technology-based powers. And the more I think about it, that endgame Iron Man suit is more and more,
It becomes more and more accurate.
yeah, accurate. that is that's the process of forging. Whereas talents are, for sticking with the Marvel, that's Doctor Strange.
Right.
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 So
they're just born with the ability to manipulate matter.
Yeah. So it's a lot more energy based, and it does manipulate. It literally calls it cosmic forces because they get to play with things like gravity, time. They do some elemental stuff, but they do a lot of other perception based things.
Gotcha.
The other big thing that espers get. So there is a chart on here for your background where technically anybody can be esper sensitive. Right. And it's called an espergenesis. How did you become an esper? And there's a chart with a D20. Yeah, and it's just like random stuff.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever? So this is slightly related. Sci-fi. We've decided everything falls under this umbrella. If you ever played the old text-based MUD, Knights of the Republic, it is all text-based bullshit. And it's delightful. Especially because I played it on an old enough computer.
Sounds wonderful.
Especially because I played it on an old enough computer that there was like no, like some people had like graphics, but it was just like dots that were colored, and mine were just a mess because my computer was too old. But you could go, if you figured out how to pilot a ship and you figured out how to do hyperspace, you could find, they never called him Luke. He's just this old Jedi master. He's Luke. But like 1 in 50,000 characters that you roll up are going to be force sensitive. And you go and you try. And then when you find your way there, because it takes lots of leveling up to find your way there, if you find out you weren't force sensitive, you kill your character and you start over because that's what everyone wanted to be, a goddamn Jedi. But it never happened. Like I knew nobody who ever got to be force sensitive.
Maybe it wasn't there. Maybe it was just the way to
if
keep you
that
playing.
was just the way, it's a myth because you can't
Just keep playing it over
well,
and over again.
that's the thing is we knew certain races were never going to be. Like
Did
the
you
Twi'lek
try
could not be.
driving backwards
Yes.
and then going into the secret hole in the ground? That might have been where
I
it
will
started.
kill you.
Okay, so espergenesis can happen to anyone at any time.
Correct.
Okay.
So like I'm just perusing the chart. Push beyond your endurance in a hostile wilderness. Your power has helped you survive. You major genetic or medical procedure prompted your powers to activate. A stressful sporting event.
I was suddenly like, this basketball gotta go in. Magic.
In the midst of a sporting competition, your inner drive prompted the manifestation of your abilities.
I ran so fast.
Yep. Power awoke in the presence of a rare stellar event, solar flare, comet, or meteor shower.
Oh, can you imagine if you're just like with your significant other and you're just watching a meteor shower and suddenly you're like, your hands start glowing and you're like,
Is that explaining how they discover they have esper powers?
Yes.
Yes? All right, so
Magic.
you're looking into the
Sun.
snake chamber and the glass just goes away.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it goes, thanks.
See,
and
however,
it leaves.
Harry was dumb and he still didn't figure out something was weird then. He was like, oh no, the glass went away and I can talk to this snake. Guess life is normal. Like,
I still don't understand.
Dude lived under stairs, okay?
Yeah, give
For
him a break,
him.
man.
He's literally
Give him
and
a break.
figuratively sheltered.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's what the book describes like espergenesis as. For us and our races, I have made a few of them naturally esper sensitive.
thank
People
you.
that are in tune with cosmic forces already.
Okay.
So it is limited, and they do have a deeper well for that power, but it is not. It's not stars and basketballs all the time, right? Like there's
I would
there's a
assume-
component.
Yeah, I would
here.
assume it's like it has to be some sort of.
There's a science involved. You may not know it.
Hey, someone in
But-
the chat, roll a d20. I want to see what you get.
Sure.
Is
for
it some sort of like convergence of specific elements that make someone more esper sensitive than somebody else?
For the esper races, the
Yeah.
ones that have esper that are born with that ability, that would be pursuit and practice.
Okay.
What's number
If
16?
if they're 16,
Yeah.
exposure to a rare bacteria on an alien world activated your powers as an immune response.
You caught the
Oh,
plague, and
and then
the
you-
magic saved you.
Fine.
Was it use of dust exposure in the womb?
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
exactly.
there's that one. Yeah. And
Yeah.
one, I think we already read the number
it's
one.
number one,
earlier.
directly exposed to a sorium device used by espers,
Oh.
such as a rig or a weapon link.
Gotta win a pod race to become an esper.
So if it's a lot of these are based off of like actual classes in the book.
Yes.
I've like went through all of them at this point.
Yeah.
They're like missing like two.
They're missing monk, barbarian, bard.
Yeah.
Druid.
Druid.
They're missing 4.
So four total.
And I would say the adept is further from the sorcerer than we initially
Yeah.
expected. But the melder is a solid substitute for the wizard. Sentinel is, as we've
Is
talked about,
paladin.
is a paladin. Hunter is the ranger. Specialist is rogue. Warrior is fighter. And cybermancer is warlock. Engineer is cleric.
Cleric, yeah. Which engineer would worship? Mechanic.
Yes. Mechanical.
Mechanisms save me from everything.
Does that help, Wizard?
Sure.
Does it?
What do you need? What are we missing?
I mean that was a whole sidetrack. That wasn't the rest of my timeline.
That was not the relevant issue.
I got lost.
Yeah, we sidetracked onto Esper and Sorium, which is perfectly fine.
Does that help with the Esperansoria?
That was really important, though, for like a
no,
distinction,
absolutely.
because that feels like the
Yes.
two main sort of like
Esper doesn't make sense to
power
me.
channels.
It doesn't make sense to me why. So the way that book makes it out, everybody has the ability to have Esper, and it's just if you have something traumatic happen to you,
Right.
whatever traumatic is,
Right.
it would wake them up.
Right.
I don't think that's how we're playing it.
We are playing. Certain races are born with it. Other races can develop it.
With something.
Are not guaranteed to develop it.
Okay, so because I know like anybody can be anybody, but no, right? Because I don't like. I want there to be a backstory reason for why an adept is an adept if they are a human, right?
So a virtuant can't use
right,
talents, right?
right,
There's a biological component
sure,
to it.
sure,
Right. I would say if you talk to probably different races, have a different idea behind it.
okay,
The Lexipicus are probably, since they all have a bit of it, right? Yep, lost that example in my mind. I apologize.
you're fine,
But the Volinol, it's something that they teach and learn.
right,
Right.
because they're like the Asari, they're born with biotics on their planet, everyone learns them.
Yes.
But like a human biotic doesn't know what the hell they're doing, and they got exposed to element 0 in the womb, so they don't know.
Correct.
So how would a human Esper come to pass?
Well, now that they're a part of the greater galaxy, the
So anybody can learn to be an Esper. So everybody has the ability to be an Esper.
mechanically, for our characters, yes.
Okay.
In
Right. I mean, right. Like any race and any class can be put together besides
Correct.
Virtuant.
so in the lore of the world, no, not everybody is, because otherwise people would just be running around licking
Trying to
licking
become
sorium all the
experts.
time, so they could.
Like hit
so
me.
they could-
So this is
Yeah.
the equivalent of if you could decide to multi-class into a warlock. However, something has to happen to cause you to make a pact and connect with a dark deity.
Right.
This is that we could decide. I want my character to be sensitive. We have to find a reason for something like that to have happened to them. though.
Right.
Yeah.
So yes, the Esper powers require an event or a background, right?
Right.
Like a bloodline or
predisposition.
predisposition. Either it can be environmental, it can be genetic, but something has to happen to
Okay.
take you from normal person to Esper person.
Right. So it seems like in the Esper Genesis book, it's just you have to study so hard and then you become an Esper.
Yeah, that's the Melder
Yeah.
foremost school. That's the wizard,
Yeah.
right? Because they took that from a wizard. Because technically, if you're smart enough in D&D, anybody
You
can
get
become a
magic.
wizard,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
so for us, it is more. There is an event that happens that changes your life,
Cool. I like that.
unless you are born.
On these planets.
Yeah, unless you are born of those two specific races,
Right.
there is an event. Now, anybody that uses a rig or uses Sorium, that's just training.
Right.
You pick
That's
if you have the tools
You can
and you
use it.
learn how to use them, you can do it.
Thank you.
Yes, on board.
Okay.
Timeline.
Timeline.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I do like that Sorium ruins are found on, say Euripides, which is fine. Which we're gonna say, I'm sort of pulling, not exactly, but sort of getting the same ranges of what's in the Systems Alliance
Sure.
timeline because
I'm
it
cool with
kind of
that.
makes sense.
As long as it makes sense.
So if faster FFTL, if that's what we want to say,
Mm-hmm.
is 2220, then Mars colony would have to be 2113 would be the first Mars colony, if that works for
100
you.
years?
Yeah.
I think it's probably closer to 50.
Okay.
I think they're doing some exploration, but just seeing the difference in technology for us for 50 years, if we've already hit an FTL, right?
Sure.
We're just breaking that barrier. I'm thinking 50, maybe 75, somewhere in that
Are
range.
you thinking that the Mars colony happens before or after the development of FTL?
After, especially if we're putting it on Jupiter,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because even at the speed of light, that's like 4 days away.
Yeah.
Right. So, we get to near the speed of light. Probably put together that Alpha Centauri mission, send that off,
Mhm.
right? Or probably start exploring our own galaxy, and then put that mission together and send that off. Because we're not getting anywhere in lifetimes
Right.
without it.
Yeah, because the way that the Systems Alliance timeline works, it was the ESA, the European Space Administration, that created a
Everybody stare at Andrew while he tries to be subtle.
We're watching a
That-
movie.
that
and you're
did
being
just
loud.
a regular space shuttle mission
Right.
to Mars. But we were going to, okay, that's fine. So we can do that. So I have it, 2163. I'll get the actual numbers down in a little bit.
Mhm.
Lunar settlement I had in 2087. Is that too,
No, I think that's
is
fine.
that one okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's fine. And I think that being on Mars by 2113 is fine.
Okay.
Right. Like,
Being on Mars, but the
Being-
first human settlement won't be till,
yeah, I mean,
I like that.
even if it's a small settlement,
yeah.
right?
But like scientifically and stuff, they can be on Mars in
Right.
2013.
I don't think,
Okay.
but Mars is not the giant jumping off point for our humans.
Right.
They're a little further out.
But right. Okay. All right. So then I sort of had a blank from 2163, which I'm going to do until 2218, but I can figure it out. So from 2163 to, you want to say 2190 is when Euripides is found?
Yeah.
We can do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the ruins are found in 2190?
Well, I was going to say it's 50 years after the ruins are found. That's how long it takes humanity.
To get FFTL.
Yeah. To break that barrier.
That's only 3 years. So I'll do 2170.
And we can push the timeline forward a little bit if we need to.
Yeah, I think we're okay. I mean, I'll take another look, but this is good to get like a general.
Yeah.
I kind of had, after that, 2218 is when they start doing the FFTL tests.
Yeah.
And so they kind of discover subspace anomalies and different things like that.
Yeah.
So then at 2220 is when they actually approach the wormhole.
Right.
Cool. Post 2220. Are we having extrasolar colonies? Are we having extrasolar colonies before or after? Probably after.
After.
Yeah.
It would be after.
Okay. So I had my first extrasolar colony pretty quickly after that, about 2226.
Yeah. I would say 5 to 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because you got to figure the KP in 5 to 10 years, they have experience at getting races up to speed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah, literally.
Literally up to speed.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. And then I stopped because we had this question. But from there, how many colonies do you imagine humanity has?
It's been, we said 95 years.
Yeah.
Roll a D20. Roll 2 D20.
I have no dice.
I got you. Look at this. 27.
Cool. That works.
I don't think it's so like
no, I don't want there to be a lot.
I don't think it is a ton,
Yeah.
but in 95 years, and let me put it this way, it's not just planet-based colonies, probably space stations,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Outposts,
Yeah.
Things like that, exploratory missions. Absolutely. I think, 24.
Yeah, I like that. Is there such a thing as Arcturus Station?
You'll have to tell me. I don't remember.
Sorry. Come on, Cody.
I know. I watched Jupiter Ascending. I should have gone back and replayed Mass Effect. I apologize.
All in one night.
Yes.
They barely mention Arcturus, and it's only in like.
I vaguely remember the name.
Yeah.
So.
It's in the beginning of Mass Effect 3 when you're like, Arcturus Station was destroyed. It's the home of the Systems Alliance Parliament. So would they have a space-faring only government?
I think they're probably moving in that direction.
Okay.
There's probably independent planetary governments,
Okay.
Which I would think like individual states,
Sure.
right? That would report
They're all
to,
loosely governed by some sort of like alliance.
right.
Okay. And then I forgot. I scrolled down and I'm scrolling back up.
Mm-hmm.
Is there such a thing as World War III?
Sure.
Okay. Something that would potentially bring human because so in Star Trek, World War III made
Right.
everyone come together.
Right.
It does not exist in the Mass Effect universe. It's just that the discovery of the Mars ruins made the governments come together and say, "Hey, we're not alone."
I even if it's not I think global conflict being exponentially recurring, right?
Mhm.
Faster and faster, even if it is not a singular large war, I think having a couple of decades of difficulty
Dark
and
ages.
turmoil, not necessarily the regression in society, but definitely that long-standing
Instability.
conflict,
Yeah.
that instability. We can call it World War III if we want, or
I can think of something.
not. Yeah,
Is that propagating an era of peace?
I think
Because we know Earth is terrible, but what I'm saying is, and we have the gangs and everything, but as a whole,
as a whole, yeah,
Okay.
humanity is
still humanity, so they're still terrible to each other, but
right, but
on a max level.
but we're also like, hey man, we kill ourselves.
No one else gets
Nobody else.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Only
And
Luke and kills
Nobody
Luke.
makes me bleed my own blood.
And,
Yeah.
and what I will say is that I think much like the first contact conflict, they probably, even though it was, I think probably the Zode, and it was probably not like a full scale like galactic war,
Right.
but I think there was definitely,
Skirmishes here and there.
yeah, there was something that made not all of us, but a good chunk of humans go, hey.
At that point, when there's an outside, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah, we're all gonna team up and
And as humanity, be like, only we can kill each other.
yeah. Oh, those fire assholes are killing us.
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
Okay. Cool. I now have it a little bit. There's a couple of gaps, and I'll as
Okay.
I'm writing it out, I'll message you. But I think as a whole, that is a little bit
Cool.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Thanks.
How are you guys doing over here?
I'm
Ready to start creating.
Let's start
taking a
building.
closer look at the class. passes, so I'm trying to weigh the options.
Well, you guys you're welcome to roll your stats. +5, lower than a +5, you get a reroll. Otherwise, we're doing a 30-point buy using a D&D 3.5 calculator. It's you can just Google that, you'll find it. What it allows,
for Shadowrun, right?
it's something like that. Yeah. So what that allows you to do is you can increase your stats above a 15. We are sticking with the 5th edition. With your racial modifiers, no stat can be increased above a 20.
Oh.
20. But I don't suspect any of you are going to put enough points into something to have an 18. You might, but we'll see how it goes.
So I roll stats, and then you say I can put extra points into things.
So you either take the stats as rolled.
Yes.
If-
or
or-
start at
You just go to the calculator and build it how you want it.
Okay.
Yep. I know, like, Caitlin loves rolling stats. And yeah, Andrew does too. If you guys want to do it, jump into the Discord over there.
I mean, use Discord.
Or if you got dice, roll
I
them.
mean, I can
Yeah.
use Discord if the
No.
wants me to keep track of
If
it.
you got real dice. If you want real dice, also there's
Yeah.
these.
There you go.
Cool beans.
All the D6s you could ever want.
Yay. God bless.
Actually, it's still not enough for Shadowrun, but
Nope, not at all.
That's fine.
When I roll stats, I roll really well. So I don't know if I should probably do Discord.
All right.
We'll see what happens.
So
Discord it is.
all
Don't
right.
know what I'm doing.
give me an 18 right off. It's going to be all ones. Here we go.
Roll 46, keep 3. And do that 6 times.
What'd you get?
That is
12. It's an audio medium. You gotta just
Yeah, you got to say it out
tell
loud.
us.
Oh, yeah.
You can't say what you got.
Share with those at home. For those of us that
We
cannot
just do
see.
it back and forth.
Yeah,
That's
take
true.
turns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your turn. It's like bowling. Bowling for stats.
So take
Cool.
away
And
the
then-
lowest one.
And then away the lowest one.
Yeah, and then add
And
all the
then
ones.
math is hard. Give me a second.
13.
Oh,
No.
yes.
Right?
Well,
Isn't it
no,
6,
12.
4, and 3?
No,
9.
that's 9. That's
12.
12.
Oh, okay.
12 also.
12.
Wow,
All right.
twinsies.
We're not Iron Manning.
No, you don't need to Iron
I
Man.
cannot read those.
Yeah.
That's a 15.
The 15, nice.
Solid.
15.
Oh, that is a 13.
13, okay.
Look at you average people.
Yeah. How neutral.
That's not good.
It's really not bad.
That is a 9.
Oh,
Hey,
Oof.
That's okay.
I was waiting for some low ones too, so.
I don't know if I'm good at this.
Oh, hey, look
Asking
at
you
that.
shall receive.
Hey. 10.
yeah.
Hey, that's average.
Oh, there's another low one. That's going to be a 7.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I was like,
But you got rolling stats. If they don't get a +5, you roll again.
yeah.
So I think
I'm just
and we've
keeping
got
track
some
of it.
pretty solid like racial modifiers too. So
Mhm.
we've got a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
14? 14. I think.
14, okay.
Math is hard.
That's
Do you want to say the numbers individually?
because you can add
This
them
is a
for you.
math. 5, 6, 3.
14.
Yay! I got it right.
Oh my god, I'm about to burn these dice.
we,
It's not working out so hot.
we got plenty of others.
That's
That's got a whole
another-
basket
I
of
was
Another
like, do you want to
7.
share from here?
Yeah, let's
camaraderie.
use
Just take
those.
some of
Let's
those.
use those. But for now, it's those last 2 or 7s across the board.
All right,
Oof.
one more.
You
That
can
doesn't
just
look
start
great.
your reroll now.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
going to.
Because there's
No way you're gonna get there with
What-
2 7s.
yeah. How many stats do you have?
I'm at 5 right now.
No, even an 18 is not going to get you
Yeah,
to a +5.
that's okay.
So
9.
9.
For those of you on our Discord, you can see me rolling stats on the Discord. The first attempt did not work.
Yeah, I don't think these dice like me either. That is a
Wow! Yikes!
shoot.
On bikes.
That didn't work
that's
either.
a 4.
Oh, do you just want to roll 6d20 and see what you come up with?
Yeah, for real. I might.
I mean, I'm rolling on
knowing
psychic,
me,
it's not
I
any
roll
better.
all natural ones. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna believe in the hardest
Oh wait, I
dice
roll
here.
one more time because I need 6 numbers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Still no bueno. It's catching.
See? I'm contagious at this point.
It's like when my dad stands next to
You're
an
okay.
electronic device and it goofs itself. That's another 9.
Oh.
Okay.
So that's a 12, 13, 10, 14, 9.
Oh, there we
9.
That works.
You're close, but I think you re-roll.
Would you?
Okay.
Yeah, 12, 13.
10, 14, 9, 9.
Yeah, no, you need a re-roll.
Okay. Same thing.
14.
Because it's 12 and 13.
2
The 14 is
is
4.
4. Minus 1 for the 9 is 3.
That one was a 17.
Yeah, and then minus 9 for the other one. So plus 2.
Yep.
So
No.
do it all again.
Better luck this time.
Would you rather us just do the lowest number and work our way up from that?
Sure.
That way
that's
we don't have to
fine.
re-roll
Yeah,
those
that's
until you get to the point max.
yeah. So re-roll one of the 7s.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Just reroll.
So re-roll 1.
I'm always bad about this.
It's
It's
okay. It doesn't help we just changed
Honestly,
it midway
love it.
through on you.
Wow.
That's 12.
12.
So one of the 9s would be replaced with a 12?
Yeah,
Would
take
that
your
be
lowest number and turn it into a 12.
right? Okay.
I just
12.
did really well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
And that's
I reserve the right to adjust a little bit for averages.
mhm.
Because
In case
if,
someone suddenly rolls
if you have
all
a plus
19s.
12
I have
and
a
Okay.
plus 10.
plus 10,
Nice.
10 plus 10's okay,
That's
but let's
fine.
Okay.
let's see. Because if everybody else only ends up with a plus 5, then
All right, let's see
I'll
how we
tweak a little
do.
bit. I'll bring them up and bring you down 1 or something. So
I'm exactly at 0 right now.
Ooh.
That I've rolled. So
Look at you.
reroll.
All right,
one of the
math me.
7s.
okay,
11,
0,
16,
3,
14,
8, 5,
16,
18, 8,
8.
Minus 1.
7.
Plus 1.
Yeah, you get that 8.
That's
That
it?
dumps
That's
it
it?
right there.
Yeah.
All right.
So you're
what is-
set.
What
So-
is
I think you
Okay.
need to re-roll 1 more.
Okay. It's fine. Oh, it is very fine. Indeed. Actually, I think it's a 4. No, I lied. That's a 15.
Hey.
Wow.
So if you replace your 9 with a 15, you should be
Plus
fine.
5, I think.
I mean, you're almost at you're
The spread, right? Like whatever it's
yeah.
Yeah, 12, 13, 10, 14, 12, 15.
Yeah, and so what you have there is instead of an 8,
Standard array.
you have a 12 on
Yeah.
the standard array.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you can take that. You can also try the calculator if you would like.
I'll just take this.
Okay.
Do we have again, I don't make characters often. Is this whatever order we rolled
No,
in?
it's
is
not.
just assigned to stats, or is
you
it
can,
based on our?
No, you
No,
can
you do
assign it
whatever
wherever
you
you
want.
want. You can put them wherever
That's
you want.
novel because I'm used to having like, oh, your highest stat for this needs to be it. Like if you are this race or this class, your highest stat needs to be in
Well, that
dexterity or
so that
something like
that still is there.
Is that still a thing for?
Yeah, for classes, certain classes are going to want
They're going to
certain
require it.
stats, but
Okay.
you don't have to keep them in that order.
Mhm.
Is what we were trying to.
You can
say.
adjust the other ones
Cor-
as necessary.
Let's talk.
Well, like say what class do you think you're going to be?
I was torn between adept and meld. What's it called? Oh,
Melder?
I lost it. Yeah.
Space Wizard.
Yes.
I think you're gonna, having read the adept. The adept is psychic, and it feels honestly slightly underpowered.
Okay.
I think you're gonna have a better time with
With
the
Melder.
Melder, especially if you have played a wizard. You're gonna be much more familiar with it.
Right.
And
The-
they're intelligence casters, right?
Yes.
So you would want to put your highest stat in intelligence, right?
Right.
Right.
Okay. So
Yeah.
like that's kind of the thing, but we're saying that you don't have to keep them in the order that you're rolled, which
Mhm.
is something that he does. Sometimes.
Right. I think the reason I was considering adept too is because that's charisma is what I would use to roll, and I get a bonus to charisma because I was thinking of being a lunal.
Okay.
So
Lunanal.
lunal. So they have like the
They do. The
Additional
Trininal
charisma,
have the intelligence bump.
Yeah.
So you could go either way. The adept. So what I find weird about the adept is that you don't get the meta magic points of the
Mhm.
sorcerer. Instead, you get some psychic specific bonuses
okay.
that
Mhm.
don't that seem a little. They're like twice per long rest, and they're not like super powerful.
And they don't play well with like because that's the other thing is I was trying to think of the interaction between the Esper abilities of.
I think they support the Esper abilities. You know, it's the class that is one of the furthest from its 5e counterpart.
Mhm.
If you want to play it, try it, and if it doesn't work, we can always switch you.
Mhm.
Right? Changing from an adept to a melder is
Not that hard.
not
Mhm.
hard, right? So yeah, you had something you were starting to say, Andrew?
Oh, I wasn't going to say anything yet, but I was going to ask, what are you two going?
I don't know.
I am playing a sentinel.
You're playing a Sentinel. That's
Okay,
right. I
yeah.
remember.
Human Sentinel,
Yes.
Volinol Adept. I remember why I took the L off of it, even though I want to say it.
You can't.
It reminded me so much of just Tolkien in general.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, fair.
So-
However, that would.
Oh, no, it's fine.
I mean, language adapted. I like Sivanol. I feel like we're all gonna fuck up a lot.
Yeah.
I think the
You're gonna
L
go,
is easier off the
I
top
agree.
because going right
I
from
agree.
vowel to vowel to vowel is a pain in the ass.
Some of
Yes.
the Melder pages aren't loading for me in the
Mhm.
PDF, so I wanted to look at it closer, but I can't.
If you reload the PDF, it should. Yeah. Also, downloading it helps, and
Yeah.
then it will do it. Because otherwise, it's like streaming it.
Yeah, it's constantly reloading it.
Yeah.
On the raw stuff.
No,
She's
I
an
was
Uhu.
thinking of the
No, she's fine.
Oh,
No.
she's Vanol. Yeah.
all of these partial syllable races.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was gonna be the
Volinol.
Tell me how this character sheet works. Why do I have two boxes on each side
specifically the
for my
Lunano,
stats?
So
submarines.
let me see.
Which one is that? That's the.
Entertainer. Yeah.
I'm just keeping track of everyone.
Oh yeah, no, I have it written down on the
No,
side too.
always write them.
What were you considering?
One is your stat. One is your modifier.
Right, so it's the
Right.
third one.
That's not a cool way to
The
do it.
circle.
If I
So
It
add more of a
is-
race and
Assume
bind
the
to
circle
it, I
with-
like the idea.
Your
Hunter,
saving,
because they have a lot of
Oh.
really cool abilities.
Oh, okay.
because I do not see a place
For saving throw.
for saving throw. So the third box is your saving throw.
I'm here for it.
Yep. There are some
Side vehicles. That's
there are
exciting.
some fun things on this. Like I love the death save like tree
Yeah.
that I put there for you. There are some things on here not super into,
Yeah.
to be honest. But
I'm interested in what the burst fire thing is.
so burst fire.
Yeah, there's no monk, is there?
There is no monk.
That makes me sad.
There is no monk.
Never played one. I kind of want to do something I'd never done before. For
Space Monk.
I was almost when I
Okay,
read
but,
Adept for the first time.
I
I,
thought it
almost
was-
thought it was
Me
a
too.
monk too,
hmm
but it is not.
Aw, sad.
I do like that it tells you have one action, one bonus action, one reaction per turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess if you want to play the monk class, you can, but things will hit you harder.
No, I know.
honestly, I
Because-
Like just
wouldn't.
being unarmored.
I would just
Yeah.
be fun if there was some kind of.
Also, I understand why there isn't.
No, I get it. I get it. I
It's
was
in a game
hoping.
that's based off of guns.
Yeah, I
to
was
be
hoping-
unarmed.
Well, I was hoping it was a weird matrixy could dodge between the bullets thing.
Hmm.
Like that's what I was imagining for a monk here.
Or
Sure.
deflect missile, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were
exactly.
talking
Grab
about
it and
having
throw it
some
back
weird
at
like
them.
energy bracers that would deflect.
So we can Wonder Woman.
Like Wonder Woman.
yeah.
Well,
I'm
monks
glad
use
that that's
keys, so
literally
they would
where
just need to
everyone's
redirect
minds
with the key instead of needing to actually physically.
Yeah,
touch it.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. I'm just saying that like being in a game that's space combat and not having weapons.
But you could. That's the thing is that the
You
D&D
use weapons
5e
as a
monk
monk.
is like that. But that doesn't mean a space monk would have to be because none of these
Well,
are direct
You still use
comparisons.
a weapon.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like you still you
but
Like,
it's still
honestly-
get better bonuses if you don't.
Kinsei Monk would work really, really well
Mhm.
in this type of setting because Kinsei Monk focuses only on their weapon.
like if I had a freaking samurai sword that was spacey.
No.
Like
Are you
No.
talking about the saber?
no, I'm on purpose mixing things because in my mind the cultures have melded at a certain point. And
No,
this
that's
is
what
hard
you're
to
saying
absolutely
is
fix.
fine.
Yeah.
I
wanna
was talking
be-
about the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
You want to be Samurai Jack.
No, not really.
Want to be a samurai
That'd be
in a
so
Future
cool, though.
Man's game.
Yeah,
Oh
right.
God, no.
But also, there is a really terrible character that has a sword in Mass Effect, so no, you do not get one.
It's
That's
funny because
valid.
also there's a class of the Druid that is like
The Asari. That's
no,
in
I'm not talking
Andromeda.
about- yeah, it's Andromeda. Yeah, no.
Oh, you're saying Kai Lang.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm talking about Kai Lang and how I fucking break that sword every time. You literally have so you know a little bit about Mass Effect, right?
Yeah.
So
I've
it's-
met you.
but how the game works.
Yes.
There are like interrupts that you
Yeah.
can take. Right. So there's a renegade interrupt that you can take, which literally so you always kill this man, but you can break his sword before you kill him. You literally shatter it.
Excellent.
It's the only renegade interrupt I ever took in the first time I played.
So then, because I want to be something fightery,
Be the warrior.
I'm debating between warriors.
Deer.
hunters.
They're
Very
hunters.
ironic.
They live on a jungle planet where they are not the apex predator, so they've learned how to fucking fight
That's good.
deer with predator teeth. It's terrifying.
I'm about
That's-
this.
Really terrifying.
Yeah. But I'm thinking either specialist, hunter, or warrior. I'm not sure.
Specialist is a rogue. You've played a
Yes,
rogue before.
I have, but it's different.
And okay, so if you are looking for different, I think either going hunter or warrior is going to be more different and more satisfying. My suggestion would be hunter. Would be my thought,
I think Hunter would be really cool.
but it
That's
is
what I was
up to
originally imagining for her in general, because Forest Planet, where she
Right. I feel like you would all be like natural hunters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me
Okay.
just say one thing for this hunter. And that's Stalker. Let's just look at Stalker. My God.
yeah.
Is it OP?
You don't even see where it's coming from.
Mhm.
You get a +10 to your bonus action if it's during a surprise or your
What?
movement speed.
Damn.
And then on top of all of that, you get to make an additional attack during that.
Shit.
See,
And
that's
on top
why
of
I
all
almost
of
wish I
that,
could do
You
that.
get to add your wisdom modifier to the already
Oh my
dex
God.
modifier that's being added into your damage dice.
What?
I don't.
So
I wish I could.
instead of
I
getting
wish.
the assassination perk, they just went,
Yeah.
here's a whole bunch of stuff to add and throw onto you.
I wish.
The only reason that I feel weird about it, like, I'm not a min-maxer. I'm fine having bad things, but like, I don't like double stacking on stuff. So like, we naturally can ignore difficult terrain. So can the hunters. I'm like, well, that's annoying. Like,
right.
it's
You-
an annoying little thing that is petty and small, and I'm aware. But as a hunter, none of y'all bitches would have difficult terrain, which is nice. You're welcome.
Yeah, but
So
that's,
that's
one out
awesome.
of like the 5 things it gives
No,
you as well.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
It's
There's a
fine.
lot of really dope stuff. For instance, I have advantage on attack rolls against creatures that have not enacted. I have advantage on initiative rolls. I would get initiative. I've never had things that have extra
Wow.
initiative. I can go so late. I
Mhm.
can go early in this.
Soldier.
If you're traveling alone, you can move stealthily at a normal pace.
I'm probably gonna go with specialist as well.
It's nice, right?
Yeah. The only reason I want to go specialist is just because playing it, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
What race are you going?
I think I'm gonna go all as well. Because
Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
Fashionable space elves.
yeah.
And also rogue. Oh, that'd be cool.
Except I want to go the bougie one. So.
Yeah.
The bougie elf rogue.
Can we just be like not the bougie twins, but like we meet and we're just like, yes, good.
Excellent.
I
So we
just-
have
I
our
wanna-
things that we
Our
obsess
auras are
over.
in sync.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want the empath stuff just for the giggles of
It is
Yeah.
very cool.
I think
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
go
I'll ever
hunter then.
use it for what it's supposed to be used for. I'm just
I was
always
like-
gonna be like, wonder what that guy's thinking about.
So you're taking.
Cody,
So
what is he
you're
thinking
doing
about?
the. Are you doing like the first sub race?
Noodles. It's always
Yeah.
The,
noodles.
How dare
okay,
you.
cool. So you will be the one who can read minds, and I will be the one who can enthrall minds,
Yeah.
and we'll just like trade secrets.
I'm probably gonna be the hunter then,
Okay.
I believe. Because I'm
Do you
storying.
use your powers for evil to like steal shit from people?
No, I don't want to be a thief, but I do want to just like I'm looking really heavy into the investigator. That's the one that I was looking at the most, which is the one that basically walks around Sherlock Holmes and then goes, "You guys can deal with that. Thank you. Bye."
I set
Yeah.
it up for you. You just have to hit it
You
one
just
more
knock it
time.
down.
Yeah.
The investigator was one that I wanted to look at because its capstone ability is, I think, a little weak, especially when compared to the investigator from Xanathar's.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is very close, but Xanathar's gives you that capstone, I think, at 3rd level instead, or something like that. I remember reading the investigator and thinking, well, some of this is out of order. So we can fix it. And play with it. I'm like water, man. We're gonna figure it all out. Be fluid.
Do we know what classes?
Meg is gonna be some kind of like biomancer of some kind, like she was gonna be a doctor, a scientist of some kind.
We
we may be writing a scientist class.
Here are the 2 things.
Yes.
The engineers are the main healers.
Yes.
The hunter will have some healing ability because they have a rig. The sentinel will have some healing ability. They have a rig. Mm-hmm. The healing word and cure wounds equivalents in this game are forging techniques. They are rig-based powers. The other thing, so I know that she does not want to cast spells because Meg does not like casting spells. But if Miss Audi is already planning on being that scholar class, we would have 2 scholars.
I think they're also both like 2s though, so that's not
right.
They're both not here every week.
As long as they are okay having 2 of the same thing.
Because Meg's also playing a bard in Disasters,
right?
So she might not want to play.
Right. I agree. I didn't know if she wanted to do.
We'll chat about stuff.
Yeah. So
I know Eduardo is going cleric, whatever that is.
Yes.
Okay. Engineer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Good.
So then, definitely special. I'm just gonna. I'll figure out if it's the investigator looked good, but so do basically thief is on here.
I do like the investigator. Don't let me scare you away from it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look and see what it was I saw, so I can go ahead and tell you about it real quick, because
I think this looks like they mixed swashbuckler into it a little bit too.
Okay, so here we go. There's the sentinel. Past that, specialist.
Miss Audi is also willing to go rogue or healer.
Okay. Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Audi. So specialist archetypes. I love that picture. This like glowing blue robot dude with energy bursting out of his joints.
Joint energy.
Big joint energy. When you reach 17th level, you become adept at laying ambushes, quickly escaping from danger. Take 2 turns in the first round of combat. That's crazy. Oh, that's that's the thief, right? Yeah.
Gonna be a hunter. What are my primary abilities? What am I supposed to be?
It's really interesting to kind of like so the Melder has 3 disciplines, kind of like you would for pretty much any kind of something. And then so it's Celestian, which is the power to see the energy between the living things, almost like a chakra-esque, like seeing the interaction of living things and control over bodies in the space. Defender, which is protecting your allies as well as yourself, and then metakinetic, which is essentially elements: fire, wind, light, and gravity.
Nice.
So they're very.
Sounds abjuration, evocation, and divination. That's what it sounds like to me.
They're very polarized. Oh wait, there's another.
So that was the difference. Their intuitive action is actually really cool because you can give out disadvantage on people attacking you. And then if it misses, you get advantage on the flip side. At 17th level, you always have advantage against them. In Xanathar's, what they do instead of that disadvantage thing, it's like a check, and then you can sneak attack them for a minute.
Yeah.
even without advantage, as long as you're in 30 feet.
Yeah.
But I'm actually cool with it not being a like heavy damage focus
Yeah.
for you. If it's more of a defensive focus, that's a cleverly worded and well put together power ability. So
I think we all like. I mean, we have a lot of boom in this group. I just kind of want to talk.
Yeah,
choo.
do it. Yeah,
things, and then something gets too close. Let's stab it
a little bit. Friendly stab.
Yeah. No,
friendly stab.
Stabby stab.
Just slightly.
Please go away.
Is it?
Are we starting level 1?
No.
Okay.
That was going to be my question for you guys, and this is a good time to jump into the couple of mechanical things that I wanted to do. To keep what I think is the feel of sci-fi, and how even with our Sorium and our space magic and our rigs and our EZO, and our gravity manipulation and all of that sort of stuff, I think the genre is better served with a level cap. So playing what is known as an E6, an Epic 6 game, where you continue to gain abilities after 6th level, but you stop gaining hit points. The other thing that I was going to look at for variant rules is, instead of using a flat proficiency bonus, using a skill dice system. So whenever you gain proficiency in something, it starts as a D4, and then every level you would receive a certain number of points that you could spend to increase skills that you're proficient in, or to pick up new proficiencies, limited by your class and background still. So you can't be proficient in everything. However,
Why not?
But being able to
That's all I
up the
wanted.
special
right.
team, getting more bonuses to specialize in something is very helpful.
Yeah.
Rather than having just like occasional proficiency across the board.
Yeah, and a little bit of variance I think is fun. We did it a little bit for the D20 Shadowrun game, and it played very well. So those were the two variants that I wanted to utilize for this game. They had already agreed. What do Erica and Andrew, how do you guys feel about that?
So when you mentioned the Epic 6, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yes. So would the idea be then that we would start at a lower level, and then just when we would reach 6, we would cap? Is kind of like the concept, like.
So we can do it two ways. One, you're not starting below level 3.
Okay.
If
I
you
was like,
yeah, but
please no.
let me clarify that. If you start below level 3, I will accidentally kill you, and I will not be responsible for that. That is, I am a wonderful GM, but I know where my faults lie, and that is
Will
accidentally
accidentally
killing people
Yes.
below level 3.
Accurate.
That's funny.
I
That's
accidentally
a-
kill people below level 20 all the time.
Right, yeah.
That's a big mood. Like,
So that question is there. I would like to do the Epic 6, we could go about it two ways. We can start at level 3 and level up to 6, then stop gaining hit points. Or we can build at level 6, and that way our leveling up process is the same the whole way through. And part of me honestly would prefer that.
That would kind of be fun, I feel like. Especially if you're implementing you mentioned possibly doing you get to re-roll one level of hit dice.
Yes.
Every time we level up. So like if you rolled a 3, you can re-roll and have the chance of you can't drop lower on hit points, but if you roll higher than your original hit die on that level, you can take it.
Get the 2
Yeah.
extra.
So it's
Okay.
a small increase because you're growing stronger, bigger, whatever. Like, but
Just to
nice.
clarify, so it's clear, after level 6, we're just going to get abilities after that point.
Correct.
That's all it's going to be. It's not
Abilities
gonna
and proficiencies.
be- Okay.
You
Just making sure.
you will not get hit dice,
Yeah.
and you will not get additional hit points.
Which is fine.
You can still pick up new spells. You can pick up class features,
everything else, yeah.
ability score increases, all of that stuff. What it does very specifically is it makes combat shorter and more deadly.
Yeah.
And more realistic.
and more realistic,
Yeah.
right?
For what sci-fi combat would be.
yes.
It keeps. We found, because when we did Shadowrun over the last summer, before we tried the
D6 version.
actual D6 version. The couple of games we played, the combat was, even if it was punchy, right? So every turn we did the card system the way I like to do it, but every turn, like getting hit once or twice was still like a big deal. But then firing back, you were wiping out dudes. I think it is a high tension, a little more actiony.
Also, quite
style
frankly,
of
if
game.
we're the kind of people who are qualified to go explore these strange places, we should probably be higher than level 3.
Well,
Like,
and
for story reasons. Like,
right.
we start level 3 adventurers at, this is my first time out of the commune. I learned all
Right.
these skills, but I'm going on an adventure with these strangers.
So
Like,
so that's why, like, if we're doing the E6 starting at 6, you guys you're professionals, right?
Exactly.
You may not be known the galaxy over,
You don't have awards or medals necessarily, but
right? But you are competent and skilled.
I'm on board with starting at 6, honestly.
Yeah, I'm always all for getting as much power as possible.
So much that
Originally,
you start me
I'm
at
just
6, you start me at 20. Like, it don't matter. We're good. We're
We
good.
actually start at 20 and we're going to Benjamin Button this and you have to lose a level every time.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
You know what? Make the
terrifying.
game, make the game
Wormhole!
difficult.
That'd be cool.
Right?
That'd be cool.
We're like, wow,
It
we just
started
beat that
as a
boss
joke.
so easy, Cody. And then, like, 10 levels later, wow, Cody, can you turn it down just a little bit?
Yeah. It started as a joke and then I realized that'd be a fun accidental sci-fi trope.
You know what that reminds me
Wormhole,
of
you lose 3 levels. What?
is Wrath of the Lich King. No, Frozen Throne. Warcraft
yeah.
3 Frozen Throne during the Undead campaign for that, because you had, during the first game, you had taken Arthas, he was a paladin, then he became a Death Knight, and you leveled him up to 10. And then in the expansion, you're losing your powers. So every map,
Cool.
he was level 10, he goes down to level 1.
That's cool.
And you're like, it in the end, it just becomes this weird like escort mission where it's like your uber hero that had wiped out all of humanity across Azeroth. You're like, hide,
I'm gonna
Don't
die.
touch the
get
cupcake.
back,
Yeah. Stop.
go somewhere away.
What did
Right?
we say that sounded like hormonal space probe? What?
That's the campaign name, apparently.
Great.
Wait, what?
Great.
No. Hormonal space probe? Girl,
What did we say?
get out of
what,
your head.
No, that's what potion. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not me.
Not you.
You said girl. I'm like, that's
Sorry.
Snape. Like, that's
not
not Cheddar
me.
Snape. Like,
So I think if you guys are on board with it, I think Eduardo would be on board with it. I think Meg would be on board with it. Even if they're not, they get outvoted. So
Oh, democracy.
huh.
no, I mean,
No.
Excuse
They
me, as
would
I
hear
get
in
real
whatever
excited about a
everybody else
fighter
wants.
healer Deer Sisters duo. So she is also going to be a healer.
Great.
Which is good. We can never have too many, especially for making this deadly at 6th level. Like,
Yeah.
You know
great.
what? Just tanks, just healers. And we
Nothing
just become
else.
a wall of pain. You know, just
A wall of ever healing pain.
so
I like starting at 6th level.
Yeah.
6 is
What
good.
are
Let-
we doing
let's
with
do it 6.
the proficiency dice?
So the way that makes this very simple.
Okay.
You're going to choose your proficiencies.
Okay.
Including
Just
the ones we already get as a race.
the ones you get as your race, you got a background.
Yeah.
They give you proficiencies.
Okay.
The proficiencies from your class. You're going to take all those proficiencies. All of those are going to start at a D6.
Okay.
Everything else is you are not proficient in.
Okay.
And now when you level up after this, you can either choose to increase your D6s
Okay.
to a D8, or we can start picking up other proficiencies.
At a D4.
At a D4.
So,
Yeah.
and each of those we would roll independently, right?
Correct.
Or
Yes, ma'am.
I have this.
Mhm.
I fill these out
Mhm.
with my numbers here, right? Like my charisma's skills will get a +3,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
The things that I am proficient in come from my class, race, background.
Yep.
And those, I roll a D6 and
No.
add the 3.
Every time you do the check.
Oh,
Yes.
every
So-
time you roll it.
Yes. So, for instance,
Ah.
if he is having me make a stealth check, and I'm proficient in stealth, I'll do my normal stealth number here, and then say I've taken several proficiency levels in stealth. I'll take a D8 and I'll roll that and add it
So-
because I'm real good
Also
at stealth.
add
I'll
your-
also add
your
the other
stealth
numbers. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
It's a
it's
static number you can never roll below, basically.
So-
This.
the same example.
Yeah.
If you have a 14 in Dex,
Yeah.
and you are proficient,
Yeah.
we're starting at 6th level. You want to write in there 1d6 plus 2,
That makes sense. Okay.
right? And then whenever you roll the d20,
Mhm.
the proficiency die goes with it,
So make us
and
a
you
stealth
add
check.
2.
What is it?
Sounds good. I like it.
20. 18 plus 6 plus 2.
How's people's? Because I'm curious now to know how the because like I've added my racial ability modifiers. Like, what's everyone's actual stat layout look like now?
I have
I
not
haven't even gotten to
yet.
the
done the
I'm sorry,
numbers.
That's
You're
the
okay.
first thing I did.
I just got to background, so like
My
I haven't
charisma is
gone
8.
anywhere.
Yeah, we have. I have like
I have
six,
no charisma.
I have
We
like
talked to
6
no one.
disciplines to choose
I shoot
from.
people.
I haven't looked at the race in here. I haven't looked at background. So I've just filled out some
I
numbers.
know my
She's
racial
going to be
abilities.
small Russian deer who does not talk to anybody.
I would, that's going to be
A
wonderful.
small Russian hunter deer who fucks everybody up.
A small.
See?
God, you set everyone
That's
up
the
at the
point.
end.
You-
I was
you-
gonna be like, follow your
It's not like,
dream.
are you
Are you-
playing a barbarian?
Wait. Is she
I was-
redheaded?
Oh no, is she? Am I Black Widow?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Are you just Natasha
I
from
like
Rocky and
it.
Bullwinkle?
Oh fuck.
Well, that,
No,
I want that.
I can't. But I can't be. I can't do the Lulu voice
you can't.
because no, I can't.
Okay.
Oh.
It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
It does get.
It
I
gets
can
really
only
annoying.
do so many because she barely
says, like,
speaks
5
fluently.
words. Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean that could be my.
That could be your
I'm just
charisma.
eyes and tits. Like
Big bada boo.
yeah.
But you're a deer.
You could do.
You have deer tits.
Yeah. I'm a fallen race satyr. They have upper bodies that are human. That's why they have human teeth. Because their upper halves are humanoid, their bottom halves are deer. Somebody fucked somebody in Greek mythology, and that's how it goddamn happened.
All right,
Zeus.
somebody draw this, but don't show me.
Man, there's gonna be a lot of people fawning over you.
No. I hate all of this.
That's why they pay me the big bucks.
Wait, you're getting paid? Thank you.
I just needed a way to put in bucks into that one. There you go.
Oh,
Oh,
Just
God,
keep
I
on
didn't even
going.
get that. I don't like any of this.
So,
I'm trying to think of a pun with satyr, and I can't, and my brain stopped.
I'm not gonna go the investigator route.
okay.
I was waiting for that to turn
I'm
into a
gonna go
joke.
the infiltrator route.
Okay.
So
That's the one closer to the thief,
Yeah.
I believe.
Except that it actually, like, the more I read into it, it kind of sways away from, like, you're going to go in there and steal
Right.
stuff. It's more, I'm going to go in there and get the documents
Right.
so we all don't die. It's
Right.
just me who dies if I get caught.
Yeah.
So
They do a good job making fine adjustments. What I would say for you, Erica, is since you're familiar with Wizard, think about what basically those 6 are schools of magic.
Essentially.
That's what they are. They've renamed them a lot of things. Is there a particular type of wizard that you would, if we were doing just fantasy, and you could pick your wizard school, what that would be the way I think about
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean. They're slightly different.
Like I'm sure that the powers are not exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
I can read through and help you think of them. Like,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to be very boom boom or?
Have y'all never goddamn seen Mr. Tumnus? He eats with normal teeth. Okay?
Absolutely
It's not creepy.
Okay, but I love me some mystery.
See, I'm just a girl that. I'm
not-
actually no. Now I'm just playing.
I'm not into furries, kids, but like, let's talk about
But like
Mr.
James
Tumnus.
McAvoy as
But-
Mr. Tumnus.
But actually, just James McAvoy.
I have a problem.
Cody, are we using starting equipment as well?
You can take the starting equipment. Yes. We will. Here's what I'll do. We're not going to do anything magic item based, but take your starting equipment and let's do 600. I'm going to say 600 currency as though that is equivalent to 600 gold pieces.
Okay.
Although some items in currency are overpriced. So if there's something that is like outside that norm and you're like, hey, I really need this toolkit, let me know. Okay.
I'm charismatic. I'll barter.
One of the things I do like was a subsection on the equipment list was that you can change the damage type to portray different types of ammo and different types of weapons, right?
Cool.
So the same heavy heavy pistol, if you want it to be a plasma rifle, deals fire damage instead of the ballistic damage, right?
Mhm.
If you want it to be some sort of quote unquote death ray, it deals necrotic damage. A laser pistol deals radiant damage, right? Although it does specifically say that for the purposes of damage resistance, unless weapons are enhanced with thorium, they are not considered magical, so they don't break resistance. So, but if you want a weapon that is of a different type, different damage type for flavor purposes or something like that, let me know, and I am on board with playing and creating those.
I think I'm good with what they give here. It's actually pretty good. Gives a pistol and then it gives a sword.
And one of the nice things is in first quarter this year, as per Genesis, Alligator Alley, the people that are publishing it, are coming out with a mechanics manual, which is all gear and ways to build and enhance gear.
Cool.
So as soon as that comes out, we will have that, and we can make use of that.
Cool.
We're not doing limbs for now, but that we could go into Neurospasta if we needed to.
Is it currency and not credits?
It's a CU, so I said currency.
Okay.
It is universe. I don't know, what does CU stand for. Credit.
Credit unit.
Yeah, it's
Credit unit.
Civil, CUBIL.
It could be that.
Quibble. It's on the second page of the character sheet. Like your character sheet, you have a little marker at the bottom, right above.
Oh yeah,
the bottom
total
right.
cubal. See you.
Cubal.
Cubal. Cubal. CUBIL, abbreviated as CU,
I like
is
credit
primarily
unit.
used as a digital currency accepted anywhere by online transfer within the core planets.
I'm calling it cube. You got the cubes.
You got the
Where's my
For
cube?
trade outside the
My
core,
cube.
however,
coop.
Cubal is also has a physical representation, that of a flat metallic disc, a coin. Assholes.
Wow.
Metallic disc.
Made
Or
of
a coin.
pressed
If you will.
meteoric
Right.
ore harvested from several planets within the galaxy. Currency. Okay. Yeah. Cubal. There you go.
Cool.
So, okay. Looking at the starting currency, it's 5d4 times 100.
Oh.
So put a 0 on that 600. Let's call it 6,000.
Sure. What do we start with basic? I'm sorry, I lost it.
6,000 credits. Currency cubals
This is what we
is starting money.
starting with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I'm looking at this.
So 6,000.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh no.
So 2,000 would be what the max starting currency. So
We'll do it right before the item.
max starting currency for the wealthiest classes, the engineer and the hunter and the warrior and the sentinel, would be 2,000. So I guess technically 12,000 seems really high. Let's start with 6 and see what you need.
Yeah.
Okay. If you end up needing more, we can work it out.
Cool. Yeah. We can get a jab.
Sorry, I got real distracted finding visuals of Mr. Tumnus for
I'll
the
probably do
Discord
items
chat.
on my-
Important.
That's fine.
Really
Very
important because I
Once they hear
refuse
it,
to
I'm
play
like-
an Eldritch Nightmare.
I mean, yeah.
Just
that's
heavy
fair.
breathing.
I deleted the Flush Warper channel so this shit wouldn't happen.
So did you want to know my stats?
Yes, I'm curious.
So
I'm
this is
genuinely
before,
curious.
if we're starting at 6, we got an ASI somewhere in the middle of this.
You did.
This is pre-ASI.
Pre-SI,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm not leveling up until
No,
like,
I
level up, but
I have to pick a favored quarry, and we don't know what alien races we're going to be fighting yet. So at some point, we'll level up. But
Yeah.
yes,
9 is where I'm keeping strength
Nice.
because there's 2 of you that can do my heavy lifting for me. So I'm not too worried about that. Dex is at a 17. My con is at a 12. My int is at an 18. And then wisdom's at 14. Charisma's at 11.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
Anyone else? I've got mine. My strength is at 14. My dex is at a 16. My con is at a 12. My intelligence, only because of my racial abilities, I put all 3 of the points in intelligence, is at a 14. My wisdom's at a 16, and my charisma's at an 8. So, I wanted to drop me down. Because it was like, I had 2 points to intelligence. Great. Then intelligence was the only one that was at an odd number that I could then bump up to an even. I'm like, well, I guess I'm putting everything in intelligence. But I don't know. Yeah, that's it.
I forgot we get a plus
Well-
2 to dex. I'm so excited.
Yes.
So
That's why
you
you're
can't
not
add
min-
the other one from your race to intelligence.
Oh, I can't? It's
No.
plus 1 of my choice, so I thought I could just stack
Of
it.
another
Oh, it's-
ability.
okay.
I
Well,
apologize.
Okay. Well, then
But-
it's just floating and doing nothing.
But with your ability score improvement,
Okay, hold
you
on.
can add.
I'm going to add 1 to dex, and then I'll split for my ASI between dex and int, so they'll both be at even.
There you go.
Boom.
So I will also be at an 18 for dex at some point here in a minute.
Nice.
No charisma for me.
Part of me is thinking all the charisma.
I was
Well,
gonna
I
say
get advantage on
you-
charisma intimidation checks.
Also, it's funny because there's
you
literally
you may need to go adept because nobody else is a talker.
No one can chariz.
it's funny
That's my
because
second
there are
highest stat.
also
Good, excellent.
Yeah.
I don't
Sentinels are
talk to
supposed to
anybody when
charisma.
I'm breaking into their places, you know. Like, there's not a
So
lot
I
of
haven't-
conversation that's going to happen.
I haven't done my racial stuff yet because I'm doing other things. But I mean, 18 strength, 13 dex, 15 con, 11 int, 11 with 16 charisma.
solid.
Wow, nice.
There is also
You may just
charisma.
want to do
Oh,
the flat +1 to everything.
I
Like
may.
that's
Like
nice.
it's a solid.
I was reading more into the different Scorched Earth versus Galactic versus Ever to See, but I might just do variant.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because that would pump up
You've got what 4
4 out of my 6.
odd numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I actually might do that.
For all reviewers, don't forget we have a promo code right now in our store that's exclusive for the stream.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not only live right now; it is live until Friday. But I don't know when on Friday, so do it now. It's also good.
Definitely check those out. So there's a few things I'm excited about this. One of the things that I am very excited about is I've read through a couple of their modules,
Yes.
which I think we're gonna start with just one of those to see how we flow. You know, and it's along the same lines, right? Jump into a crucible, go digging around some ancient ruins, and come out with something crazy.
Yeah.
So that's very exciting. So the last thing, actually, kind of while you guys are building your characters and working on these sorts of things, the last thing I had the idea to do, I don't know if it's worth doing, is for the state of the universe, playing a game of Twilight Imperium. With each of our races substituted for one of the Twilight Imperium races.
I mean, we can't do that now.
No.
Because
So
that would be the rest of
our
today
life
and tomorrow.
Yeah. Well,
Like-
so Twilight.
Determine the state of the universe.
Yeah.
yeah, to like see where stuff, like use
So
it
like,
as a.
to see where it
what
lies.
laws are there? Who's in control of the council?
That's kind of fun.
Interesting.
That's kind of fun.
Just it was just sort of a thought. So those of you that do not know, over here, Twilight Imperium is a there's a 4th edition that is out. It has like 17 races, and it is a galactic, calling it like a control game or like dudes on a map game. It doesn't do it justice. So
it's a resource management / military game.
yeah, so like
Yeah.
everybody starts on their corner of the galaxy.
Mhm.
Everybody is trying to become the Lazics are dead, and everybody wants to be the next like
big player.
big player in the galaxy.
It's a surprisingly fun game.
And the way you do it is by acquiring victory points. And sometimes they're military based where it's like, take a planet, blow something up. Yeah.
Mhm.
And sometimes they're much more technology based,
Mhm.
where it's like, develop this technology, own this many, have this many resources.
You invested in these resources, and now they've been productive.
Right. Have make a certain number of trades, help somebody out.
Mhm.
And it is kind of this weird political thing, because once people make it to the center of the map,
Mhm.
you start
They own
creating
it.
laws.
It's yeah,
And
that changes the way the game is played.
yeah. So it was something that I found a good tabletop simulator for it. It was something that I thought we might be able to play or involve our patrons in, playing with them. I always like the idea of other games influencing different games, right? But I don't know if it's too much. It honestly probably is, but
I'd almost rather play and move the cameras into the kitchen or play here live instead, because the tabletop sim is such a chore to learn. Trying to explain things to people with the lag who've maybe never played is going to be harder than explaining them here in person and being like, you can just do this with your piece.
Okay.
Like I would kind of rather play here,
All right. Well,
but
then
I may be wrong.
Well, so I'd love to play with the viewers in general, just because it's
And that's the
actually
thing, they can learn, watch this, and then we can
Yeah.
tabletop sim it. But like, if we put the cameras on the counter in there to raise them up over our heads on one of the back kitchen counters, and we can point down at the island. We can be overhead.
yeah. It heats up a huge chunk of
The whole kitchen island and then some.
Yeah.
Not even.
Nice.
Like,
Like,
did
we
it
had-
on the whole kitchen island and didn't have space.
And
for
like, we had
everything.
to put chairs on the side for people's stuff.
All of
So
my stuff was on the.
In the buffet table or whatever.
No, it
Yeah.
was on the stove.
That was,
yeah, mine was
I also
on the
think,
sink.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, then I think if we get that truss up in here,
We
maybe
can play it before February. We can play it for
yeah,
one of the last
like on
weeks
a
before
Sunday.
Yeah. Whoever wants to come in and
Yeah,
claim a race.
yeah,
Like if you are not wanting to play the sci-fi game, but you want to play Twilight Imperium, someone can give you chart. Like Megan is probably not going to want to play Sci-Fi Imperium or
Right.
Twilight Imperium. It's not her kind of game. So like someone can take control of the space people for her who she trusts.
right.
Someone else can like if y'all can't make it, someone can take. There's 3 of us who may be willing to play who are all Lexipicus. We can all take a different race and just go. Like,
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah. So that would be interesting. I think.
Yeah,
Um,
I think so. I think so too.
As I'm building
Yeah.
things, because I am taking the Earthborn, I think, because just +1 to everything makes sense to me.
Yeah.
compared
Oh
to
yeah.
everything
Really
else.
good numbers.
I get 1 additional language of my choice. So if
Mhm.
you could pop in additional, what languages would potentially exist?
I would say that every race that we've discussed has their own language.
Okay.
There is going to be a common
So
galactic language.
on this,
Yeah.
because we're taking everything from here, right?
Sure.
Just letting you what they say
Yeah.
that I can speak Common and Terran.
Cool.
So Common, I'm assuming, is the Galactic Common.
Yes.
And then Terran's the Earth language.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. So I would say that you could speak any of the races here that they have their own language. I would say the ones that are probably so the Shazur you can't speak,
Okay.
because their language is gonna be that pheromone breaking nonsense. You don't
Yep.
have the
And the light
physiology for that.
language.
I was about to get to that.
Yeah.
And the Lexipicus, their language is part of their bioluminescence. That's how that's being used. But
Okay.
you could speak Rostak, Valinal, Uhu, Zod, any of those.
Any remnants of the KP, like an ancient language that we don't speak but is written, could she understand? maybe?
So the KP, as far as you guys, they had their own language. That it was very closely
Latin?
guarded.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, is it
Okay.
Latin and it's just in all our stuff? Or
Well,
like,
they never spoke it to you guys
Okay.
Yeah.
because that was a language that they
our language.
was
that they-
beneath them?
No, they
they-
spoke our language.
they spoke common.
Yeah.
Yeah, or they spoke your language.
They just
Like,
never shared that because they were probably like, these guys aren't ready for that.
I
yeah.
imagine they just had a bunch of universal translators
Yeah.
and like
Just
anything.
Babelfish up in everybody's ears.
Hey,
Okay, so that makes my strength score 19.
Oh shit, yeah.
Nice.
Fight, Sentinel, fight! So I made the mistake of picking a thing that gives me techniques instead of talents.
Uh-huh.
So I can mix my weird Esper talents that I just have with techniques for the hunter.
Oh, that's right. You did.
It's
Yeah.
fine. Everything's fine.
So here's the thing. You're only going to know 3 Esper talents.
Mhm.
You're
They're just a natural quirk of mine. I'm not diving into that.
They're almost the equivalent of abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not. They're just
really
racial abilities, basically.
they're racial abilities that you're going to be able to use basically once per
once per long
rest.
rest. It's a racial ability. It's like the pixie thing. I
Exactly.
can cast this once. Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's fine.
Or
I was just
tiefling.
like, oh shit. Like,
Yeah.
or tiefling. Yeah. Cool. Aha! I like that this on death saves. If y'all have noticed,
I love the
1, 2, 3
death saving.
survive, perish.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so with my
Nice.
racial, it's 19, 14, 16, 12, 12, 17.
Nice.
So I talk and I strong.
Yeah.
I'm not very smart.
Nice.
I am okay.
I'm about to be Dexy as hell. I shoot things. I shoot things for everybody. Let's go.
Yeah. Nice. I don't know what my background is yet.
I
haven't done a
I
background
can't
either.
really
Oh, backgrounds. I forgot.
Well,
we
I
had
was
those.
going to pick a background
I went
first
with Shipper.
before. the
Ah.
what?
Shipper?
Shipper.
Oh, shipper. I was like,
He, he
Shipper.
really likes
Go for
people to get
spy.
together.
But
Yeah.
my dude doesn't talk to people, so that didn't make sense. And I was like, you know what would be? Him just sneaking onto cargo places
Yeah, I like
and
that.
stealing documents and stuff. He just picked up a skill of acting
Maybe
like a
like
shipper.
forging account books.
Yeah, so
For
it
a
gave
little
me
bit of
astrophysics
teaching.
as a skill, which
Yeah.
was nice.
Why?
nice.
Why
And
are
then-
you being a dick?
And I don't know,
Sorry,
I was
because you
born
need
this
to
way.
download
And
I
then
was just trying to scroll like
Background.
skipping it.
Dick.
Wasn't doing that earlier.
Yeah.
Celebrity.
and then
No,
it
I don't talk
gave
enough.
also gave me deception,
Nice.
Yes.
which I have no charisma. So like it's nice to be able to lie just suddenly. That's all I got though. It's just I live on a throne of lies.
You smelled like beef
Where's
and
the
cheese.
background?
And then
Is
of
there-
course
it's right
insight
below.
from
Yeah.
being an elf. So that's
Yeah.
nice too.
Media investigator.
So
That's
I
fun.
picked Zodian, is what I'm calling it.
Mhm.
You want to call it something else?
Zodian, I love it.
And then I-
Zodian.
Because I
Yes.
figured
So
it's kind of
all the time.
like the soldiers that go over to the Middle East and pick up some Arabic.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I like that.
yeah.
I like that
That's
a
awesome.
lot.
I love that. I did try to make some differences with the Volinol, specifically that they, rather than being like, what do my elf eyes see? That they, because they are the first of the KP's children, they develop strong empathy and the ability to like make first contact with races
Mm.
and relate to people, and even like animals and things like that. So
Celebrity. That's silly.
I'm actually kind of considering professional athlete. Like she did hunting as a sport back home.
Oh, that would be
Like
cool.
she did. Like it was it started to survive, but like everyone has those extreme sports that they
Oh,
do,
sure.
and going out and doing hunts
well,
where it was like you got to survive against this giant fucking thing.
it would have to be now
Yeah.
because you guys have evolved. At this point, you may not be the biggest predator on your planet,
But we understand.
but
that, yeah.
you are the apex
Mm.
of your.
Imagine if I
of
was
your
just a
planet.
celebrity. It
Are
was
we
like
though
a
still?
fashion
Yeah.
Because
I know
we're-
they're just trying to
being
like,
influenced.
you could have tried to move around stealthily, and you're like, "Oh my god, is that?" I'm like,
This is like fashion designer, just like, oh my god, yes, I'll sign your shirt. Oh, you're so
I'm just
cute.
literally
What's your
slunking
name?
into a
I'm gonna
shadow.
spell it wrong because I don't care.
So
I would love if you were an influencer and he was just your Instagram husband.
Oh my god! Yes, yes,
We don't even like each other.
yes.
But like stealthy arm candy, right? Like
Can you hold this light for me? To like the left. Like the left. This is my good side. So the left. Oh my gosh, can I just be a
you just see the hand start shaking,
But no,
as
it's
it
like-
back, and then it goes nuts.
But no, it's like even in like the high concept sci-fi, there's always some monster that you still don't want to fucking deal with.
oh,
Like there's
absolutely.
That's my
always
life.
like,
So
like I know we're like not hiding and running through things anymore, but like still, if during certain rainy nights Godzilla comes out of the depths, we're still fucked. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
I would say your cities are.
oh yeah, of course,
safe.
oh of course.
That's
But we'd all
correct.
discuss like the planet itself is still dangerous, as hell,
Yes.
especially for non-locals. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
No, so I like the idea that it's we can be safe. Some of us are just idiot thrill seekers who are going out there and shooting stuff not for sport. Well, we bring it all back. We eat it. It's to protect people. It's fine. I don't like the idea of being a competitive hunter in real life because that feels uncomfortable and wrong. So I'm going to go with we have to keep the population under control.
Or you could, hunt poachers.
We hunt evil wrongdoers. It's the most dangerous game. We just we just drop wrongdoers into the forest and chase them.
I love that book. It's
Yeah.
one of my favorite books.
Why does that not surprise me that you said that? Of all the people at this table.
So
I
I'm
don't know
really
what book that is.
Yeah.
It's the most dangerous game. It's literally they get like dragged to this island where this guy hunts them because he's a super rich fucking guy who has his private island and he gets bored hunting animals, so he hunts people because they're smart enough to outthink him, and it's fun for
so
him.
good.
There are a couple
And-
Star Trek
so
episodes
good.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's based off that. Like,
then-
it is
And then he went and got a hunter because the regular people were too dumb.
because so he gets this famous hunter and he's like, I think this is gonna be better because you are smarter than the average person because I'm fucking bored because I'm a crazy person. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so talk to me about Sentinels and rigging.
Okay.
And would it make sense for a tech background or should it be a soldier background?
Either one would work.
Okay.
Either one.
Okay, how about this?
What is the? Hold on, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, just real quick. What is astrophysics? What is that skill going to do? Is that for like space travel?
That, yes.
Okay.
That is for navigating in
Let's say
space.
space mapping is what astrophysics is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get as close to Darth Maul as I can.
Cool.
Good.
Cool.
Good.
Yeah, yeah, you got it.
I
Is that
got
why you
it.
don't talk?
I
Yes.
figured it out. I figured it out, babe.
Okay, what do you got?
Can you
Okay,
grow back your whole
because-
body?
Because I as a person, I'm gonna say this the one time I believe hunting fine when you're doing it right and like legally and you use the whole fucking animal. Because that is what is meant to happen. Don't just do it for sport. So what I'm doing to make me feel more comfortable about professional athlete hunter is it's whenever one of the big, dangerous, unkillable monsters emerges, everybody swarms, and it's a race to see who can get there first and track it and hunt it and whatever.
Yeah.
They're dangerous. It is not just it's the monthly whatever games. No, it's someone has spotted this giant Pacific Rim. What do they call it? Kaiju. Someone has spotted this giant kaiju.
Get the kaiju.
Go get it. Okay, we've been training. It's been months since our last hunt. Like,
We
kind of
really
thing.
need to do this.
Yeah. So that is that is a way to make Caitlin feel less icky about that idea because I like the concept, and then my own morals got in the way of my
Mhm.
character building, as often happens. So good.
Nope, that works.
It's
I'm on
why
board
I
with
don't
that.
warlock because I'm uncomfortable with the idea of someday having to kill all my friends, like for an archfey or something. Like,
Oh my gosh.
Weren't, but now.
I thought everything was fine, but you're kind of freaking me out.
That's why I said I don't play a warlock.
There's
You know,
so
you
many
just pick a
good
unicorn and go celestial. That's it. That's it. Welcome to the new Xanathars build. Where we went, warlocks, they don't got to be all bad.
I just
Sometimes
really
they're
like
not being greedy, you know?
Sometimes they just want to
I
make
get-
rainbows and
Sometimes
butterflies.
they just don't get a choice, you know?
So I am sad because there are so many good backgrounds and I've only run into like the first 5 and I already like 2 of them. I really like the idea of being an influencer, but I also like the idea there's like Drifter. which is
Hi, fam.
essentially,
We're on
like,
Alpha Centauri today, where the weather is great and it matches my blue dress. Like,
Hold on, I gotta get the background just, gotta get that trash can out of the way.
you're an
Yes.
aesthetic elf. Why would you not
I
be?
mean, it kind of what's her name?
No,
Marina
fucking Bakaran.
Yeah.
Inara.
Inara.
Yeah,
it
Inara.
kind of just reminds me of Inara.
I mean, that's basically a companion. That's what she is.
She's just a princess.
She's yeah. Just space fucking princess.
Yeah, exactly.
And she makes a real good living.
Technical soldier.
Oh,
you could
for
also,
you?
like,
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Are you going like full fighter, or do you have the the technique skills?
I have the technique skills.
Okay. We can suffer through that weird together. I think
Oh yeah, I got a rig. I got to figure out where my rig is.
me too. What do both backgrounds get you?
So techie gets me skill proficiencies in computers, mechanics. It gets me a hacker's kit or mechanics tools.
Ooh.
I learned the universal programming code language.
Hey, for a language collector, that might be your
Plus
answer.
another language of my choice.
There you go.
And then my equipment is my starting equipment as part of a techie is an encrypted PDA.
Yeah.
The feature is an industry professional. You're an expert on the quality and rarity of electronics and mechanical devices. You can easily identify the make and model of certain computers and machines. You also know various contacts that can find you deals on decent tech gear and gear upgrades.
Okay.
And then they have a deep love and understanding for machines, which often reflects in their personality. They tend to approach most situations analytically and find trouble communicating with different people. They also can have a sense of imagination and wonder for the future advancements of society. Where a soldier is a soldier.
Yeah.
But it gets me skill proficiencies in athletics, survival. I have a tool proficiency in one vehicle of my choice. And then, military combat uniform.
I feel like it's kind of more interesting to go techie because it's like how you got into the military, like what your specialty was.
Yeah, that's
soldier and soldier is just you're a soldier, but like techie sentinel was like this is how I got in was doing this and I was a really good hacker. Then you got to whatever.
We could always use a good hacker.
We
TBH.
really could.
We probably need a good hacker.
We really do. We got a lot of Esper shit going on over here.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, I'm either going with celebrity, form of influencer / like just my performance is going to be very high, or drifter because part of me also wants to just be like the tourist, like that one person who never stays for long, who's kind of like the wine aunt, who's like, I'm gonna go over to like this country where I took pictures with this thing and I got this cute little pin for you and it's so ugly, but you're gonna like it anyway because I get you things that you don't want all the time from different places that you'll never go.
Amazing. Tool proficiencies. Where would I put these?
That's
Okay, thank
who
you.
could go wrong in either direction?
There's so many options.
Thank you. Tools. Okay, what tools do we even have here?
So many.
All of the tools.
A gaming set of my choice and vehicles, plural, planetary. I can drive anything we need.
So that's only on the planet.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
not pilot because
No, I
pilot's
know.
its own
No, I know.
background.
That's why I almost
I know.
picked that, and then
I
I
almost
realized I
picked
had no
pilot, too.
reason to because theoretically,
But
it,
eventually we're going to get there.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of
we'll
like,
pick it up later.
yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, but no, vehicles planetary. I that's why I was clarifying. Yes, so vehicles planetary. These lines are too all character sheet designers. These lines that you divide in half, like language is a tool. Nobody writes that small.
I do.
Nobody but this freak writes that small. No offense.
We need like a pencil sharpener to like sharpen it so that it has. Of course, you have a mechanical. Pencil,
okay, that I can do. But vehicles, I could fit. Vehicles planetary, I can't. Like on the
I
one
could
half.
probably
of the,
fit most of it. I write very tiny.
Nobody should have to write that.
No,
small.
no one should have to write that small.
There
That's
we
true.
go.
But I can. Doesn't mean I should.
And
Vehicles. I mean, hold on, I'm gonna get it. I'm just
This
writing
one's
planet, but I got it. Vehicles,
Yeah,
planet.
There you go.
Shouldn't have to do that.
All right, I am a techie. What does this get me? Skill proficiencies in computers and mechanics. That's fun. I am dumb, but it's okay.
love how everyone is turning out because
Well, also the
it's all
Lexipicus.
very hodgepodge. But
The
that's
Lexipicus
best.
like to be better than the chosen races because we evolved on our fucking own.
Mhm.
So the
Excuse you.
idea that I'm a well,
We were chosen.
we hadn't met you yet, and now we know what you got. But
We were chosen first.
And you're never gonna let us forget it.
No.
hey, thanks for the sub. You've got a Discord invite coming your way.
Thanks, Sub. I have a question for my Valinol. How old are you guys?
I don't tell people that.
70.
70.
Okay.
All right,
Now,
you're
is
young.
that,
I don't
how does
know.
that headcanon for you? Are you like 21, 25?
And it said, I would say he's probably about 18 to 20.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say
Like in
Super
like
young.
human years.
Yeah.
So he's like, no, he's starting now.
Yeah.
Part of me wants to play a little older, but just be like the
But you
eccentric
think-
aunt who's
Yeah,
just like,
there's a
I'm
reason
so
for
young
it.
at heart.
You're actually 150, but you pretend to be 80.
Hello,
Oh, yeah.
fellow kids.
There's a reason for it. I'm gonna play him a little different than most
Nice.
would play around.
All right.
So I don't want to go the traditional like
No.
I'm rooting corner.
Good.
Yeah.
Bless.
And I will always have you.
But I
hold
didn't name him
my
Zero.
lighting.
Oh,
His name is Zero.
Oh my god.
Zero.
But very close to zero.
Like CYRO.
S
Like cereal?
C-R-O with a dash.
Are you doing it all in haiku?
I thought about it.
I
Oh
will
my
turn
gosh.
this stream around.
To
It's
the
short for his for an elven name, but
There you go.
Mhm.
when I finish the elven name, it'll be fun.
Real space year don't age.
See, the other thing is,
What did I say the other day? Fur don't crack.
Fur don't
Yeah.
crack.
That's right.
Fuck. Hold on. I'm about to get 200 credits. Where'd it go?
It went away.
Shit. No.
It's fine.
It's not
So
fine.
there's
I need to
also,
buy a new boat.
which I also like, patrician. That's how you say it, right?
Oh, I need a name.
Yes. A
Social, rich,
That would be
social,
cool for you.
social elite,
Yeah.
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 because that would also match.
Yeah. Maybe he's your patron. You're his patron. is what
I'm
trying
his
to say.
patron. I'm his patron.
Yeah.
Can I just no? Here's what I want someone to play. Honest to God, I want someone to be. My musical theater brain just failed me.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in you.
The lead in Rent,
Which one?
Are you
Roger
talking-
or Mark?
Mark. I want someone to be
Mark.
Mark, whose job it is to be like, we're going exploring these KP things. I'm going to get it all on film. Like, I desperately
that'd be
want.
cool. I mean,
someone's making a docuseries. He's going to be out exploring. Is that
That's
you?
what I'm doing.
Yes!
Listen, all of you are going to be in this group, and he's just the sweaty PA guy who has to stay invisible.
I was gonna
the
say
whole
he's gonna
time
hold the boom
with the
mic
head
for
cam
me.
on. So like, you guys are like doing stuff, and he's going to be like watching.
So in Hunger Games, are like Pollux
Yes!
and Castor.
I love it. That's all I want is I want you to just be like,
What is a PA but another ninja?
your whole
No.
mission, your whole fucking mission is to film when we finally get these artifacts, and you're gonna win whatever the space equivalent of an Oscar is. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it could be like Hunger Games.
Right.
Like, she's like our star, and we're just there to protect
we're just
her.
there to keep her alive.
Yeah.
That's
I also
who's
got-
financing this trip. Oh
I'm
shit!
honestly, also, I have the street cred because I
Hang
also
on.
do this on my other campaign. Well, no one has street cred in
It's-
society, and
yeah.
everyone
I
comes
just
from
wanna
God
record
knows
everything
where.
like a
Yeah.
And I'm
pro.
literally just like,
And that
yes,
way, every
you
time they go to
plebeians,
watch the
I will
footage,
help
they
you
just
get
see me
into
going,
this party. hey, I just have to say,
Yes.
If this is the case, and we go anywhere in this general direction, it's a lot of double meanings for the word star in our campaign name.
Oh, stop. No puns, man. No puns.
Jesus, star. We could call it the Rising Star.
oh my god.
I already
Okay.
said Star Chasers and nobody liked it, and I thought it was cute.
Star Ward bound.
Chaser.
That's already a game,
Oh,
isn't it?
I think
Down,
so.
down.
I was looking at ours.
Also,
Someone said,
Rising
like,
But
Star
we're
is
all
stars.
animals, and we're just trying to go home.
Someone said like the Stars Genesis, and I like Star Genesis because that sounds really
Star Ward
cool,
Bound is
but-
actually a D&D5E campaign, so we cannot call it that.
That's
Like,
No, it is.
it is
Alas.
yes.
Rising Star
They play
is
off
a
of the.
karaoke
But they
club.
play.
I was gonna
they don't
say
play
it is
5e,
owned
they
by
play-
our employee.
No, they say 5E. It
So
literally
what,
says
Star does?
D&D5E.
Is it?
Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, but Starfinder or whatever is a Starfinder.
That's Pathfinder.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
but
Pathfinder.
that's. I think they still end up calling it 5e so that they can grab the people who aren't watching.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
got
yeah,
you.
so let's not call it that. But we have a lot of options in the
Mhm.
names if we do that.
Oh my God.
It's
No puns.
not
are
a pun,
terrible.
it's just a double meaning. It's not a double
bad.
entendre because it's not dirty.
It's really not as
Wonders
bad.
aren't dirty.
Okay, it's a double entendre. It's a clever wordplay.
Yeah, that's
It's not
all
a
it means.
pun.
I always love that. To me, puns should be spelled with an O. It's just like a play on words. It's a pun.
Oh.
That would be a pow.
How?
Yeah, I know, but play on and then the W is silent.
We should also maybe. I feel like the show name needs to come from like
What's
knowing
happening?
what the first game is as well.
Yeah,
I
the
don't-
session
I don't
zero.
yet.
Yeah,
Well,
that'll determine what the show name is, I believe.
It's just called Session Zero. And it's kind of a reference
all
to you
about
being
me.
I was about to
the secret main
It's like
character.
the game
but
opens up. I'm just gonna walk over to one of the cameras, and then I'm just gonna be like, "So this is the story of a lot of things. You might be wondering,
Oh my god, we should play it like inspectors.
how did I get to this point?"
We should play it like inspectors. Cut to confession. Stowed away on this ship and I picked the wrong one. Okay.
it's just
Are you
like,
taking selfies?
oh my god, it's like an anime where it's like the main character is very clearly extremely ordinary and then everything just happens around them and all the
Yeah.
characters around them are extremely loud and obnoxious and
That's-
colorful.
Isn't that always like a harem anime?
Yeah, that's
Hey,
the
I always
standard.
point
too.
out-
Basket.
You know, the most
Everything.
unanticipated character is almost always the like main character technically. And you look
Sorry, I
at
ruined your
Power Rangers are my favorite because Bulk and Skull are the main characters because they're the only ones who show up for 5 consecutive seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
Just
Fair.
saying.
Wait,
Think about it.
they're the only ones?
Yeah, Tommy Oliver leaves after the 3rd season. He becomes a turtle.
Billy's the
Knight.
second longest running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but Bulk and Skull are in it all the way until space is over.
Oh, that's right. They are.
Yeah.
I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
because they're in the
Yeah.
very last episode of Space, and that's the last
Right.
time you see them together, technically.
Yeah. I loved that.
Even Zordon took a break.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see?
So I was like, I'm old.
Main character.
He's like, I'm done with
Bulk
this
and
one.
Skull. You're welcome. You're welcome for that.
I guess-
Saban, once again, coming for me.
They are the best characters.
So I will say, if you guys want to play an inspector's something a little more gonzo or camp,
It's
No.
okay.
I'm-
No.
Absolutely
I
not.
that is
That feels like a good Friday limited run later.
Sure.
Not this necessarily.
And-
we have a lot of new things to learn. I was kind of kidding.
no. I know. I want us to have fun.
Me
That is
Mhm.
that is the big thing. I'm sure we will. We can very much like Star Trek has the
fun
holodeck episodes. It's like we're gonna
Oh,
go
absolutely.
hang out and be detectives for
Yeah.
while the ship is falling apart and dying. But
If we
we're
could,
too busy right
It's
now.
you dock onto the space station and then something weird's happening on the space station.
Yeah.
And it's
it's,
just like,
if we could
oh.
lean closer to just with the way we are as people, if we could lean closer to the Orville. I feel
Sure.
like that's more in our wheelhouse
I
because it's fantastic, but also
yeah.
brilliant.
But I am coming into this game with very little preconceived or planned
Well-
in any way. I'm excited
And
to
also-
just play with you guys, and I want you to find things that you find interesting and we dig
Oh,
into.
shit. Well then, Fox let the Orville go. It
Mm.
is going directly to Hulu.
Oh,
So it will not be until late 2020.
Yeah, because he separated from Fox.
Good for him,
Yeah.
but also I didn't notice that, and I was like waiting for it to come back
Got
because I'm
tired of them
excited.
canceling Family Guy over and over again.
Listen, I'll never forgive them for Firefly. He knows what was coming. He was reaching the end of his sci-fi rope with Fox. He got more episodes than most sci-fi get from them. He
Yep.
needed to cut and run before they just canceled it under him.
You know what show is really good that was sci-fi on there, and they cut aside from Firefly because that's the worst one that they've ever done to us.
Oh, yeah.
But
Never forget.
that Terra Nova show.
Terra Nova was really good.
I heard
Terra Nova
really good
was
things
Terra
about
Nova
it.
super
was
good.
really
I cannot
good.
let myself get into it because I know that it's going to end.
you know what was a weird? It was genre. It was not sci-fi, and it starred Nathan Fillion. There was this show. It was called like Drive or something like that,
Oh, the cop,
and it was what?
the cop one?
No,
Oh,
that was
no?
a rookie.
No. It was this cross country race where that started in like the Florida Keys, and it was all of these like street racers, but everybody that was in it was like being manipulated and had like a family member stolen.
Yeah, Drive.
Oh, wow.
you're right.
Drive,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it only did like 5
One
episodes.
season.
It did a full season,
Well, 6 episodes.
6 episodes.
So the pilots.
We
were
got a
this
very
season.
excited Terra Nova in the chat.
Yeah. So like
Terra
it,
Nova was good.
it was well written, and you were finding out all this stuff about all these different characters. But I was like, oh, Nathan Fillion, like this is really cool. Only lasted like a
6
blink of an
episodes,
eye,
yeah.
6 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a spring-summer thing. It was from April to July.
Yeah.
So it was just not. But I think I remember the promo for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, Terra Nova was good. There's also the other one, which I can't remember, that was on Sci-Fi that came out in like 2012, 2013. I don't remember. Let me see if I can find that.
Sci-Fi's had some crazy shows. coming.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, they
really good though. And it was always, I don't know if you'll know this, but it was always the billboard on the way to the Team Member Girl behind Shrek.
Crap.
Yeah.
Crap. Oh.
What are you talking
Breaking
about?
In was also on Fox.
That was
There's
a
a
fun
sci-fi
show.
show that was really good, and I can't remember the name of it. It was like
It was on a
2012.
billboard.
It was
We
on
have
a
just like
billboard
devolved into this
in,
conversation.
Mhm.
at Universal
Tracks.
when you went to the like Shrek is here and the Horror Nights entrance for Shrek House is here. Like if you
Yeah.
go back that way, there's a billboard. It's right there, and it was there for a long time.
Is it so you can think you dance? I'm just
Yes,
That's sci-fi, so you think
The
think you
Voice.
can dance.
kidding.
Ugh.
and I just remember it was like who did I have in it? A guy. It was like an older man and a younger girl is what was on the billboard, and I would always see it, and I was
And
like,
younger girl sci-fi series.
trying to see
Nope.
if I can think of it.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. Only thing I can think of that's almost that dynamic is technically it's an older woman. It's My Life as a Teenage Robot. You know,
Oh, I love
Right.
that.
what a
one.
classic.
Yes. Anyway,
Sorry.
No,
We
that's
got,
fine.
like-
It's gonna stress me out.
Right? Because
Yeah.
you stared at it. That's it. That was it. Defiance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
One word
Yeah.
it shows.
Oh,
The classic.
Mhm.
they
yeah.
they combined. I didn't know this. They combined a TV show with a video game. The video game and the TV show ran concurrently.
Yeah, that was the time travel one.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
believe so.
Yep.
The show is canceled too soon, relying on the video game portion to continue the legacy.
hmm
Yeah,
Um,
it was really, really good.
so let's see.
Anyway,
I think we,
solid.
yeah, I think we've had a good night.
Me too.
We can. Well, does the chat have anything they want to say?
No, they've
or
been
offer?
enjoying
They've
the
been hanging out?
content. We've got people who
Cool.
are excited to watch. We've got a new subscriber. Like
Yeah.
we've got people who
So-
are pumped to see what we do next. So
What I would
we will.
like to do is let's work on building tonight through the week. We'll try to come in on next Wednesday and do a
small.
small adventure,
Yeah.
so we can practice some chucking dice and
Yeah.
make sure our mechanics are worked out.
Make sure we like our classes
Yeah,
before we
test-
dive into an entire campaign with them.
Absolutely, test things out.
Because like if someone discovers that they hate a mancer that they're doing of some
Mhm.
kind, like or you don't like the adept or you don't like whatever, let's figure it out now so that because I'm in the process of getting the Twitch overlay redesigned to be sci-fi.
Yep.
And getting us character panels and stuff made. We are in the process of getting artwork made, by the way.
Mhm.
So
We're starting with
for the races.
racial artwork.
And then we
Nice.
can come back and we're also going to get character art for those. But in the meantime, everyone send me or chat in. We got to start an actual sci-fi
yeah,
channel instead of Wednesday Show Dev because that is
Yeah.
no longer
I mean,
necessarily
it
what
still
it is.
is.
It is.
Yeah.
I just want to move it to
One-
Call to Adventure.
once we get a name.
Yeah.
I'm blanking hard on the.
That's what I was gonna
on
say.
the
If we had a
name.
ship, we could name it that. But because like
Or even just a company name.
Let's call it SS Butterscotch.
I like
don't
it.
do that. And so like we are yeah, like I'm trying to think of a company because it's like it's the crux of it is why are we out here, specifically this group? If everyone is going to find this stuff, what sent us here? Are we hired by somebody? Are we going to look for something because we've all decided we heard the call one night and something out there is calling to us specifically and no one else can hear it? Like, what do we want
Do
to
the dead
be?
space.
We're an established
Yeah,
group,
like-
Exclamation
right?
point.
Yeah, there you go. What is
We're an established
Oh
group
yeah, by
already.
the first session.
yes, but he prefers us to know each other already, at least by the time like session 1 happens.
Mm.
Even if session 0 is we all heard this call and showed up this place. We don't know why. It's a mystery, which could be fun, by the way.
So we can do a party get together. I tend to find
I like to already know.
here's my experience. Anytime I've done you meet at the bar or on the way to the adventure, there's always somebody that is like, I'm gonna have a sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, then you don't get to play. I don't know what to
And
do.
then they get
yeah.
mad that they don't get to play.
So I think here's what I like. You guys have begun to build some personal interactions, and even if you are not, as of the first game, a organized company, you at least know each other, have worked with each other, have experience together, so that you guys can trust each other from the jump, and you don't have to be best friends. You can still have conflict, but at least we are all pulling in the same direction.
Mm.
And we know that we are going KP hunting through their ruins. Eventually, we're going to do some space jumping, looking for their planet and discovering what I think it's
Star Hunter and Enterprises.
yeah, I mean, a mystery in black and chrome, or
Sounds like space noir. Though.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
Like that makes it sound like there's a dead body. We got to go find who did it. Like,
Investigate.
Hold on.
Yeah, that was me going
I
to
don't
investigate.
hate.
Hold on.
Hello, name is Sherlock.
right.
Yeah, that's what I want.
These are my. Don't pay attention to the riff raff. Don't let me.
So yeah, no, I mean, I'm trying to think of something that will be.
Can't type.
You are having trouble over
I
there
would,
today.
I would think that if we're starting at level 6, we're already established together.
Yes,
Sure.
I think so too.
I'm on board with that.
It's a lot easier, and also it makes more sense if we are already established, because we obviously have more gold than what our starting is, so we've been doing stuff together.
Yeah.
So then I would say, a good group name would be good, like a company name, and we could just base the show off.
Base the show on that,
Yeah.
which I am.
Like that's I think finding a company name is because like something about like the reason Acquisitions Incorporated works is it's their company name and it fits what they're doing.
Right.
If we are some kind of enterprise, if we're some kind of exploring, like I shy away from being exploratory because
not
I'm doing
the
that
Enterprise,
disasters.
but yeah.
But
Please not the Enterprise.
no. But enterprises.
Sure.
It's a thing. They don't copyright that name. But like something like that, I think is a good place to start. Also, I'd like to be able to announce the show properly because like here's the thing from a marketing standpoint. High peek behind the curtain. Those of you who are watching, Megan pointed out she doesn't want Sci-Fi Night to feel like the ugly stepsister of the shows, and like Disasters has a title and a big marketing push, and like I don't know what to call this, so I can't do much.
What about
like,
Galactic Acquisition?
that feels like we're not acquiring, but like
We are.
Okay, so
I mean,
so here's the thing.
Yeah.
How do we know each other? Are we a group of people that have our own company? Are we hired by people?
Exactly.
Like you need to figure out that stuff, and you need to figure out why you're going after the KP.
Exactly.
Because what the history that I have gathered is that each society has their own reason to get to the KP because they want, or to not get to the KP because they're like, no, don't do it. Like maybe the Valinor don't want people to get to the KP because they don't want people to usurp them as the best in the galaxy anymore.
As their favorite children. Ooh, I've got it. Star Force.
No.
Star Force Acceleration.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
That also needs to be in the name,
joke.
though.
Like
You need to make sure that there is an
That we still-
establishment that we are a sci-fi and space show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
So-
the idea
Yes.
of like space or star.
yes,
or-
exactly. However, I like
So
Traversing the galaxy.
I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
What do you guys want? Do you want to be an independent body that is doing it for altruistic, archaeological, or less
the money that you can get
or
from
yeah, I
the
mean
tech that we find.
even just the treasure hunting aspect
Right.
of it, or do you want to be agents of a unified council or something along those lines? Which do you individually feel better going with?
I have a vote.
Sure,
I have
a
a
vote.
suggestion just casually based on the people here and what I know the other people are playing.
Sure.
You mentioned already that our play style as people is less up to code of a galactic whatever.
Yeah.
Not necessarily pirates, but I think a private ship. If she's some kind of whatever, she would have had the money to get us a ship.
I was going
our
to
own
say
ship.
that I connect
Exactly.
the group because I am the money.
Because you're the money. If you
Yeah.
are the money and you have gotten us this ship and we can go on our own, like maybe for some reason all of us either didn't like the organizations who were officially hiring people or decided or didn't fit.
Sure.
Like
I'm
we were
yours.
considered to whatever. Like we're not there. We are the irregulars. We are our
Sure.
own. We are our own branch.
I would
of
almost
something.
say that I am a private sponsor.
Yeah, exactly.
That I am actually looking to
You're looking for artifacts for you, for a museum, for your Instagram, for
all
whatever.
of this.
Like
all of this for social standing to prove that we're the best. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't figured it out quite yet. But either way, I feel like coming from rich social elite and having too much money on my hands that's supporting
you are Fozzie. You are
investigations.
Fozzie in Treasure Island, in Muppet Treasure Island.
Oh my
You
God.
have this hit the Hispaniola. Treasure Planet.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
So good.
no. But I'm not wrong.
I love treasure.
s-
I like that.
that
Right. That's actually like I needed to see it typed out before I was gonna say it out loud. But space cash and chaos.
You
It
guys
almost
aren't
fits
bad,
the same
honestly.
disaster and or
Yeah.
dangers and disasters
Cash.
type thing.
Yeah.
CACHE.
Yeah, cash
Yeah.
is in items, not cash is in cash money. But
Yeah.
you can do it.
Space
uh,
cash and chaos.
possibly.
which is possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
My friend's really good at
Yeah,
naming
keep on-
things.
keep on
so
throwing
I'm asking her,
suggestions out.
but she was also like, but I need to know what the major themes are. And I was like, well,
We're trying.
yeah.
We're trying to get that.
We're-
to
We're
you.
trying to get. Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
like. We need to figure out what they
So
are.
yeah, so there. I think that there, and I think we'll feel this out.
Yeah.
If you guys are all, so I know two of you are on board with sort of the more independent route. Doesn't mean that you can't work with government. You're going to have to at some point, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I think that that's going to put you in some interesting things.
Because technically, what could be done is even if you're an independent, we could be independent contractors.
Yeah, it doesn't
because what we
mean
could do, because we could technically own our own quote business, but also governments put up
It's like
contracts to be
truckers.
taken.
Truckers own
Yeah.
their own vehicle,
Yeah.
and they are hired out
Exactly.
by people to go
Like,
drive.
so the
things.
government offers up jobs.
Space truckers on Mars. We're space truckers on Mars.
Well, that's
I
why
know.
the name also works.
Yeah.
It's because the company that we could all be hired for is called Space, Cash, and Chaos. And the reason why is that they would need soldiers to protect the cache of treasure, and they would need the people to go in to get the treasure. And that's literally what brings us all together is one company that needs multiple skill sets that go, hey, here you go. And that's why we all come in and we're like, why am I working with deers?
Or would you want to be something Spectre-esque? Not that we have the same thing as what Spectres are,
Sure.
but like you are the government is like, hey, we are sending as many people as we freaking can to go after these people.
Right.
And so throw everything at the wall, see what sticks.
Right. And I think you guys can be both. I don't know that you necessarily have to be one or the other. I think through your adventures you can earn some form of Spectre status or badge of recognition, right? And like you were saying, not just from maybe perhaps starting with the individual species governments, right? Or a one, and then
Could it be that the council is putting together a mission,
sure.
and so they want
I think
representatives from each?
Sure. And I think at the start we're just trying to find them, right?
Right.
And I think once we unveil Nick Zero Prime, I think is what I called it. Yeah. Definitely that would be like we need individual specialists from everybody, right? Or even if it's not Nick Zero Prime, if we're just doing, I think we're in the early days of that, but I think once we make certain discoveries and certain steps along the way, letting that grow into a bigger recognition. Because while you guys aren't leveling up, I still think you're going to go through tiers of play where you're starting in like a specific cluster, or you're dealing with probably a shadier, like, what's that stupid nightclub planet?
What?
Wait,
Coruscant?
Omega?
Yeah.
Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Omega. I was like, there's more to it than that. Right? But like where you're dealing with, it's a mob boss. Yeah, I'm sure there's a galaxy ending
Sure. Yeah.
entity in the world, but
Right,
but let me stop
deal
what
with
I'm
this.
doing and help you,
Yeah.
dear mob boss friend.
Yeah. Or like Zaid's mission.
Yeah.
His loyalty mission.
Yeah.
I just got to kill all the Blue Suns. All of them.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
Let's whatever I got to do to get this out of the way. Let's
Right.
let's get this over with.
Right.
So I think starting with the relic hunting and dealing with slightly smaller focuses, and then graduating up and into dealing with all governments and galaxies. And
Side note, I was trying to figure out why Chaos is bothering me. It's because Chaos Sentinels is the name of our Shadowrun group. And we will eventually be bringing that back. So I didn't want to reuse Chaos twice. I was like, something about that is weird to me, and I don't know why, because I love it. And then I remembered, I was like, oh, fuck, we already are using Chaos in another campaign.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
That, like, I didn't want you to think we were ignoring that. I was like, something's off, and I don't know why. Like,
I don't know when it gets named, but
Keepers.
Because I was going to say the Chaos Core, and I was like, fuck, that's Chaos Sentinels. That's why it sounded weird to me. Like,
So is our mission at the start to just clean up what's around us, or is our overall arcing mission from the beginning to try to find the missing planet?
I would almost say that, like, speaking from the point of being like my character being the money, that I think it would make a lot of sense in terms of how we level up to start as, like I said, kind of like an impact, a little funny, independent contracted group, which takes on smaller jobs. And then at some point there is a more official group that, like, we do some things and we hear of like reputation, or we could even have like world flavor elements around the different missions that we do, things that we can see that are happening in the big picture. And then eventually there is an offer that is made to us that we've seen coming for a long time. Like maybe there's an indication that there's some change or something that people notice, or like clues or something.
Sure. Let's start, you guys, with investigating a single KP site.
Great.
Yeah.
And we'll see what spirals out from there.
Okay.
That way it's we start playing and you guys get a feel for it. You decide that dungeon delving in KP places is not what you're interested in. You care more about politics or societal things, and we do that. Right? If you're more interested when you get a ship about doing first contact missions, we do that. I think the big thing overall, I don't know where we're ending, but we at least have the carrot of Nick Zero Prime.
Right.
Right. We don't have to make that the focus, but that was just my initial hook to give us all something,
some motivation
to look for. Right. We always start with.
Well, I mean, everyone has that, right?
Right.
Like the Proteus missing, and like, there's always
something in the galaxy has changed. Right. And this gives us something to chase down. I think we will get distracted along the way and do plenty of other things. But I think you guys, being a company that is hired, not just gotten yourselves a contract, right, to clean up or investigate because we are starting with a Stargate hopping system, right? So you're probably starting with contracts of these are known KP sites that people would use this Stargate portal in and out of. We know that they're gone and the network just came back online. So now we're starting to send teams and people out to these different places to...
So are we starting on a planet or are we starting on a space station?
You're going to a space station.
On the Citadel?
Yeah, whatever. I need a different name than the Citadel or the Crucibles because something other than that. Yes.
Just curious. To add flavor, are we giving world building stuff?
Yeah, please.
That's the way you make it sound right now. Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
The way you're making it sound, it would be really cool instead of us taking ships or transports or anything like that through these gates, if we were railroad hopping.
Gate hoppers?
Yeah, we were like rail hopping. So.
Oh, shit.
Like
if we had to find ways to lock onto other ships jumping through things?
Yeah, if we're going to a planet that, like, say it's closed off or something, rail hopping. So, like, literally it's just a train that's going to these places. Sometimes we can just get on the train normal, and sometimes they're going to be like, you can't come here.
We got to sneak our way on.
We don't let your kind come and hunt our planet, and then that's how we get around is on a train system.
What's the name of the little suction-y fish that stick themselves onto the underside of sharks and whales?
Oh, yeah.
Like, whatever they're called, like, there's another name for it. I think it begins with like an M.
I'm getting it. I'm looking it up.
There's like not like a scientific name, but there's like a
motorfish?
Remora.
Suckerfish, yeah,
there
Remora.
It is. Because, like, can you imagine a ship named the Remora? And we literally just
the bottom.
And we piggyback.
So one of the things we did talk about, we're not starting ship stuff till a little bit later.
No, but that's a great way. That's kind of fantastic.
So we were thinking about using sort of more like a portal Stargate system.
Yeah.
But I think what we can implement from that idea is, because they did this in the Stargate SG-1 series, where like you can only return at certain times. This gate is only open at certain times. This network is functioning, but it is not functioning under council control.
But we have to
Right.
hack our way into it,
So,
or whatever, or
yeah,
portal
so-
through it illegally, or through a back door, or whatever. Or
I think you guys get.
some of them, but like
I
no.
think you're gonna.
I would not do illegal.
No.
I think you're gonna start with. You're gonna have the contract for this first site.
Yeah.
Now, whether you're allowed or able to come directly back, or maybe you have to jump from that site to another site. And then we do a little slider activity,
Yeah.
seeing some different sites before you guys make it back
so
home.
would you?
Things along those lines.
So-
which I like with your
The train.
the trains, the like
That's a great
not
idea.
being in complete control of
When you get off
where
the
you're
mountain.
going and how you're going.
Yeah.
Right, but I sort of picture it as Stargate esque because then you don't necessarily have. It's not big enough to put. It's person size, not ship size or vehicle size.
I'm thinking we start person sized also, just because as soon as we introduce the Chekhov's gun of a ship,
Mhm.
even if it's one you are not in control of,
It's another level.
then it becomes, well, if we had the ship,
Yeah.
we could be in control of it,
Yeah.
right? Those sorts of things. So I would like to start with just people, and then graduate up.
Would you like the idea of us being first through new gate addresses?
Ooh.
I think not all new gate addresses, but I think that's part of you guys are like you start with this one, and depending on how it goes, maybe they give you another one, or you unlock some, and through discovery you earn rights, right? You get a certain cut of whatever is found there. Blah blah blah. I think that's a good way to go about it.
Because I kind of feel like the people that went through the Stargates the first time, they had no idea if they would be able to get back.
Right.
It's the risk.
And so I kind of feel like that would be a way or a reason why they would use an outside contractor, because they don't care if we die. They care more if the people that they've invested money and training into die.
Sure.
So we are sort of like the fodder that goes out first.
Yeah, I mean it's any sort of frontiersman or homesteader, right?
Right.
There you have the potential to make a lot of money, but you're also taking on more risks,
Right.
you know. And I think that gives you guys a good motivation.
Now, is these gates controlled by the council?
I think the
Or are they
gates.
privately owned?
I think no, the gates were controlled by the
KP.
KP. The council is in, let's call it, possession of them.
Sure.
But I think right when we start, because of that rail system, which I really like, nobody is in control. So
Okay.
now there is a scramble 50 years later. So whatever was controlling them or had them shut down has broken down.
Yeah, because we can be using like the smaller human-sized ones, but
Yeah.
then like when we need to get to the places we really shouldn't be going,
Then
we
you're
need
going to
a rail
rail
ride
ship.
to get there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
a rail
Which-
ride, or
Like that.
yeah, And-
Piggyback off some access that's not ours.
absolutely.
And that's some juicy flavor text right there that'd be going on.
And it is,
Yeah.
and it does
Because
stop us
me
from
trying to
power planes.
convince
Yeah.
you that it's okay to get on here, don't worry about where I
It's
got them
just
from.
somebody
Just take the
quietly
multipass.
somebody quietly programmed her thing while she wasn't looking. It's like, oh no, but button, like, what the fuck? Like,
Especially when we get to 13th level, then I'm able to hack everything in the world. Like
Hack the
literally,
hack the world. Hack the planet.
infiltrator gets that nice right there at 13.
That good.
Good.
So yeah, I think that's a good setup for us.
How do we know each other? Is it just we all answered a want ad?
I think you guys have. I would like to say you guys have done jobs together previously.
Sure. I like that. How
Yeah.
did we
We're married,
initially get
so I mean,
together?
that's
Well,
how it's
I
going.
think
Well,
if
separately,
she
like,
is
if someone was
through
a
me.
soldier with you and you two have that connection, if like I yeah.
so if they know each other,
Yeah.
I know
right?
a guy.
You know him,
Mhm.
right? I think if we're accepting the convention that Volinol Sims over here is the Syrian Matrix Net star that she is, that she could have hired just one of you, and we telephone chain out.
I would
Think of
say
it as-
probably the one person in the party who's not here that would have worked with all of us at least once individually would have been Eduardo. Eduardo's character.
We always needed to hire a healer.
Correct.
An engineer.
Healers are always hard to find. So Eduardo could have been the one that was like, hey, I got a job. Hey, I got a job. Hey, I got a job. And then all 11 of us show up and rob the casino.
Well, because between Eduardo and Meg, they're both planet
Medical.
hopping. They're meant to spread their seed. And so both of them would literally, she's a plant.
Like that.
Yeah.
They're meant to spread their pods.
It's a little bit.
But I had to make my joke because the star is named Polaris. So I said the Polaris Express. Polar Express.
That's
No.
great, actually.
I know. Sorry.
It's a shame it's not the holidays anymore.
The
The North
Polaris
Star
Express.
is always there. So
Collins,
what's
Space Edition.
we won't say one hot chocolate. We'll sing about some kind of weird space.
No,
too.
outer space Santa. It's all right.
Yeah.
We're good.
But he's there. He's real. We're gonna find him. Because the two
He's
of
just
their
a baby.
races. Oh fuck! He knows when we're sleeping. He knows when we're awake. Oh no,
He's
that's
just a
just
KP.
what's happening. If they don't have big white beards, I'm gonna be upset.
Well, they changed their
I know they better look that way when we meet them now. Santa. Anyway, I'm fine and sane and normal. Yeah, it was.
In space,
What-
no one can hear you choo choo.
What
But no, what I was gonna say was because they're both meant to spread and learn and whatever. Both of them, I feel like, could have run across us fairly often.
So what I would encourage you guys to do is in the chat, introduce kind of who you're thinking of as your character, and find a chance to
Make a connection.
yeah. So there is a old, how did they do it? Spirit of the Century was this pulp adventure Fate Core game. It's before Fate Core came out in its current edition. And what you did was at character generation, you had you did the pulp name of one of your adventures, right?
Okay.
So it was just give me a name.
Like David?
A long
Give me an
walk down
action
the street.
Oh,
actiony
action
name,
name?
like a person, like David Danger in The Mummy of
Oh yeah.
Cairo,
Right.
Right,
Yeah, with
and-
the cursed jewel.
right?
Yeah.
And so, like, everybody had one solo adventure, and then they had two adventures that featured another player.
Multiple. Yeah.
So
multiple
it was David Danger in the Book of Spells featuring
Stephen.
Strange.
Sure.
Right.
Hey.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's always that alliteration.
Strangelings in the stars.
So my thing is this: take a moment, put yourself with two things, right, and connect it with one or two other people.
Sure.
So that you guys can. You may not have worked with everyone on the team, but you have worked with at least half
Mhm.
of the 8 main players that we have. That way, when somebody's like, "Hey, got a contract for gate breaking,"
You in?
yeah,
Yeah.
who
Yeah, man.
so
No, I'm not in. Sorry. Busy that day.
And then your character is gone from the storyline forever.
Blasto 12. Blasto finds the missing KP.
yeah,
Oh my god.
exactly. Well done, Blasto.
What a plot twist. Just like privately just go like, I want
Yes.
him to find what we're looking for, but I don't want to play him at all. Just have him say no, and then he just goes and robs it.
The other way.
But like at some point,
Blasto's
we
always
have-
in the background doing this and that.
But like at some point, we have to rob Space Casino now because I'm going to be disappointed if we don't.
I'm
That is a story I
I'm
need.
extremely well equipped for robbing.
I'm
a space
really
casino.
excited. They can be evil people. It can be, I don't need to be a bad guy. They can be terrible, terrible people that we got to take out. That's fine.
Sure,
Honestly,
C.
that
Jackson,
might be
the
a job.
sirens, we're good.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Mhm,
Yes, please.
mhm.
I'm probably going to be chaotic good because some of the jobs that I will take on
Yeah.
on behalf as a supplier of this independent contractor business might be questionable. So
Well,
I'll just
we
be
already
like,
know we're
hey
coming from
minions,
same
here's the
place.
goal. I'm not going to tell you the details. I
And
hope you
Moonlight as a
have
shipper.
fun.
Yeah.
Someone's-
Saving Private
Sure.
Blasto.
On that note, I feel solid about tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine. But just one quick question:
Yeah,
Are there? What is the underworld like?
Ooh.
There is an underworld. I think
The dark
each
space.
I think each individual. So there is very specifically instead of Thieves Cant, infiltrators get a access
Shadow network.
to a shadow network. So there is an
I
organized
mean, that
like
would have been a fucking
dark-
awesome
dark web.
name.
there's a dark web for them. I think there are individual gangs per species.
Okay.
Absolutely. But I also think
Are there
probably
like blue suns?
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I think that we can get some names for maybe like 3 or 4 that are the largest rival gangs that welcome all, if not most, different species.
Sure.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So yeah, I think you're going to find some, while there is some small time, like independent planet or system organized crime, there is larger galaxy spanning
Okay.
organized
I
crime.
have one for Elf already. You know,
Let's do it.
I'm gonna call it Drow. Literally DROW.
What
Just
does
come
that
up with the
stand
words for it.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
yet. I don't
Okay.
know yet, but that works really well for them.
Yeah.
Instead of having
I mean-
Drow in this game, like they just have the
Drow.
I-
That's cool. We'll figure that out.
I kind of want to do something weirdly ambiguous, like Project whatever.
Sure.
Like, because
Yeah.
that could be the name of whatever this exploration mission is to find them, and there could be some Greek or mythology based or like literary based thing. Someone said something about tagline follow the white rabbit to the KP. Like Project Rabbit Hole or Project Alice are like weirdly Project Wonderland. Like, I don't want to do Wonderland because Indigo Chameleon's doing Wonderland. Like things like that could be interesting because we're going after this ancient thing.
So I like the idea.
Yeah.
I would prefer it to be something, a space.
Yeah, same.
That's totally
yeah,
fine.
More
Yeah.
overtly.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine. Project Orion. Project like whatever.
Oh, yeah. So I think if
Starship Alice.
Project. Fuck! I just had there was like a
That'd be
space
a
name.
project.
Project Observatory.
I am
The
unsure.
observatory missions. Yes, Project Fuck. Thank you.
So I
Project
think what would be
Spaceballs.
cool-
Ah.
It's Project Fuck. Thanks,
Yeah.
Potions. I think what we should possibly do is, you know how there's like mission names and like N7
Yeah.
and like things like that. Like we should probably come up with things like that,
Yeah.
and that could be like the overarching.
Because
Yeah.
that'd be cute because we take on contracts, but we can also call them missions. And so each segment
Each
or like
episode
arc
is or whatever.
is a mission.
Yeah.
But you can also make them main arc missions or side missions.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
them that way.
Yeah.
too.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Priority KP.
Project Artemis. That's nice. I'm just gonna look up space terms real fast and see what hits me because I, for someone who wanted to be Jean Krantz when she grew up, suddenly can't remember a single goddamn thing about space. I'm like Project Gemini.
I would like to avoid the name Project. I would like it to be something a little bit more
the
spacey.
Cosmos Quest. Mission Space.
Yes, missions.
What a
Let's
Great.
just keep naming things after
Spaceship
businesses
Earth.
that are owned by theme parks in the area. Let's just call it what it is.
Spaceship the Galaxy.
Just like a bunch of space words just thrown together. I mean, that's what we're doing, but
Yeah.
also like
Galaxy
nonsense.
Or we could just
Sure.
really go with something over and just call it Eclipse.
No, that's a good.
Like it's or Earthshine is a word I've just discovered.
Yeah, Escape to
It's a
Space
fun
Mountain.
word.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I like it.
Ooh! I like this.
Hyperdrive.
Lagrange point.
Ephemerides. Ephemerides. A timetable with celestial coordinates that indicates where a planet, comet, or other body moving in relation to background stars will be in the sky.
That's hard to pronounce.
We're looking for
I
it.
don't know how to
let's
spell
not-
that.
Let's get away from Latin and Greek.
Epidermis. You don't like it?
Pyramids.
Galaxy Defenders.
You could just call it.
Albedo albatross.
Here comes Men in Black.
I like. Trying to think.
Space Galaxy. Universal.
No,
Supernova.
we can't do anything with Universal.
No, we can't.
Unfortunately.
I don't want to do anything more with Universal.
We already
I
are
have
there all
Universal
day.
in my life.
Universe of energy. See, that doesn't exist anymore. totally be Ellen's energy adventure in the universe of energy.
Mhm.
Um,
Universe of Ellen. Honestly, though. Stellar? Stellar something?
Stellar's fun. I like
Stellar
Quantum Cowboys.
Stellar Adventure. Stellar Party.
no cowboys.
Constellation Initiative.
That's not bad.
I feel like we're going to hit that one, though, when all of us are going to go, yeah, that.
Yeah.
Starstruck.
Star
God
Search.
damn it. Star Search. Everyone send us your
I
auditions.
like Stellar.
Yeah.
Stellar's a good one.
Stellar.
Trinary Initiative.
Stellar. Let's see what I can get. And then the star smashing into someone's face. Yeah, that's not wrong.
Yes.
That is not wrong.
Star Party.
Stardust.
Starty.
So I don't think I want
Stellar.
Drow to be
Stellar
like,
Dust.
like an actual sentence. I think I just want it to say exactly what they do.
Okay.
Like
Driving,
literally, just Drow
really.
is just a name, but no, it's delivery, recon, operatives, and watchers.
Oh, I love that.
Right?
That's actually great.
I
That's
really
literally what
like
they have
it.
to offer you. They're like, here's all the things
Here.
you might need a
That's
rogue
funny.
for.
Yeah.
Here's all the things you might need a robe for.
So did you work for them as a child?
Um,
Why did I do that? Yeah.
Maybe. That's fine. Mhm.
I would say somewhere around there. Yeah. Probably went and just fell in with that type of crowd.
The Umbra Initiative. The Twilight
We'll
Initiative.
have to see.
Yeah. Because like you have to learn your skills somewhere, right?
Space. We'll just call it space.
Space Force.
What if I was just
I
a
did that
wallflower
already.
all the way
Damn.
through high school, and that's how I became such a great
Nebula.
like, I'm just literally over there like,
Nebula.
I like the word penumbra.
Yeah, but that's already a thing.
I know.
Inner space.
Outer space.
Inner outer space.
Greg, I don't know.
Tempo
Greg.
concept.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't worry about it, buddy. You
Sorry,
have a good night.
yeah.
It's all
We're
good.
we're
We're
gonna
wrapping it up.
we're gonna
anyway.
wrap
We're
up.
good. Yeah,
We
yeah.
just people got caught up
We
looking for
did.
names.
It's very.
So-
I feel like it sets the tone for an entire adventure and
Mhm.
world and everything to know what we're called.
Yep.
I don't know. Also, hello, Raid. Sorry, we
Oh,
were picking names.
We do the raid right at the end
Hi.
every time. Hello, everybody. If you have a great name for a sci-fi D&D series, post it in the chat.
Raid beam.
And if
What
we
if we
pick
just called
yours,
it? I like Nebulor. Oh shit! I like Nebulor.
No.
It made me happy. It has lore in it.
I do like
I like something
Stellar
like
lore.
instead of Event Horizon, Event
The opposite.
Adventure,
Event. Oh,
Ev-
fuck.
Event
I don't
Zenith,
know.
ADV.
Oh, hi, humans.
or Advent or
I was trying to
Event.
think of what you were saying.
Either one. Thanks for
Sorry,
being
yes.
here, buddy.
Welcome
Andrew,
back. You may.
thanks for
May
being
go.
here. Have a good
Yeah.
night. You
You
may
guys had
go.
me going again. I was like,
Yeah, you were like,
Okay.
wait, I thought I said this.
You think of anything
No, we're
Right.
good. I'm saying hi to our new friends in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hello,
my backpack.
hello. I would normally walk you up, but we're gonna
No,
hang
no.
out for a minute.
Real quick, new fam. Since you just got here, you happen to catch us at exactly the right time. We have a stream-only promo code for our shop right now.
Yeah.
It is. I'm typing it in the thing. It is a 10% off coupon in our store. We just put up a bunch of new dice sets. We just put up a bunch of new bundles of stuff. We have shirts. We have all kinds of fun things.
Yay.
So we
Bye,
literally,
Bye. Have a good night.
Night, buddy.
we literally just did that. Did we kill the stream? Oh no!
No.
No, I think someone else is having trouble buffering because we appear to be fine on our end.
Yeah.
Mm,
So yeah,
We're sorry,
you see
guys.
me. Good.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're fine apparently. We have
Potions.
an excellent bit rate, so I'm
Great.
gonna pretend that we're fine.
Okay.
But yeah, hi. Yeah, I just wanted to pitch
Yay.
the sci-fi stream.
Yeah, no. So thank you guys for joining us. We are Random Encounter Productions. We are starting a D&D 5E sci-fi game. using the Espergenesis system from Alligator Alley
And our own.
and our own galaxy creation, our own races. We have been doing some galaxy building for last week and this week. Next week, we're going to jump in and have sort of a session 0 adventure and chuck some dice, kill some monsters, see everything and how it works, right?
Esper operatives. Well,
Esper
that's unfair to the
operatives.
people who are not Esper sensitive or using Esper. It's slightly unfair.
Yeah.
Although I like it.
It is.
We're getting closer.
We
Esper
are.
Quest. Esper Quest.
Like Galaxy Quest.
Yes. Oh my god.
I know. We're so close.
We're so close. If you if any of you have ideas for names,
Just like the word
thank you.
quest.
It is
Stellar Quest?
it is Mary Poppins as a Time Lord. She is.
I don't hate Stellar
What,
Quest.
Stellar Quest?
Stellar Quest? I feel like we have magical girl transformations if we call it Stellar Quest.
I mean, yes.
Stellar Quest. That just feels
That's my new
a
move.
little too. Everyone has the potential for being Esper sensitive, but the people who won't pick it, then it's like if we decided to call something like
Neverland released her Doctor Who shirt.
thank you, Event Esperess Stellar Quest. What are you doing to us? Nosebleed. Just like nosebleed. What are you doing to us? I thought we were friends. Stranger. Push a man one. Been here all night, being so nice. He was just here for Andrew.
Got it.
Like I feel like we're right there.
We're so close.
We're so close.
So close.
Like it's gonna bother me. Quantum Frontier. So new
I
friends.
do like that too.
If you have ideas,
I
pitch them to us on
quantum.
social media and tag us in things. And let us know what ideas we have already decided. If you come up with the winning name,
The quantum
will
leap
give
of
you-
faith.
we will give you
I know,
a
Quantum Leaps are a thing.
oh, you whore. We will give you a prize. We don't know what it is yet, but we will give you something cool if you are the one who comes up with like the winning name. So like,
Yeah, we've
tag
got
us and shit.
dice set, pens. We'll get you.
We'll find you something good.
We'll find you something good.
Yeah.
It'll be awesome. I'm stuck, guys. I don't
my
I
brain.
don't know. I
Quantum
gotta find.
query
Oh,
instead of quantum theory.
Wow.
Query because we're investigating
Wow.
quantum query.
Wow.
I'm upset with you.
Wow.
I welcomed you
Wow.
back into this home.
I mean, you should have known. I've always been like
I
this.
know you
I was
have.
never going to change.
I know. I'm
Oh.
upset. Okay.
Wasn't nearly as bad as whatever deer pun Andrew made.
No,
earlier.
absolutely
It
not.
Which was
So
still
many.
very good,
It was,
but like also
so many puns.
Too many puns.
Um,
Too many deer puns.
Thank you guys for hanging out, and thank you, Raid, for jumping in here at the last minute. Sorry we don't have more show for you at this time, but if you want to check out what we do, come on back. Friday night, we are doing character building for Through the Breach, which is the Malifaux from Weird, WYRD Games tabletop RPG. It is alternate history, 1900s, Western steampunk, Gothic Victorian horror magic game.
Yeah. That's it.
yeah.
Got it.
And it actually does hit all of those genres. But thanks for hanging out with us. We are going to see you guys next time. Also, Saturday night, we have Gloomhaven. I'm going to be building a new
We're gonna
character.
New character.
Yeah, I am
decide
leaning.
yet?
I am leaning Doomstalker
Okay.
just because you guys are already melee up front.
Yeah,
and
that's fair. I think we need range.
yeah, because if we all get trapped around a door again, I'm gonna
You die.
I'm
And kill someone.
gonna put the mini through my eye. Not in my eye, just through
All the way
through
out the
the
back.
through the eye.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do this all the time. We're gonna see you guys next time.
Don't summon a bear.
I
Simple
won't.
solution.
I will not summon Bear. I love Bear. But Bear was tired. He needs to hibernate.
He does.
Vermi has
Retire.
he's
He's got the gold.
he's given the blood for the blood god,
Yeah.
and he
He's
is
good to go.
ready to go. So we'll see you guys next time. But until then, be cool.